This podcast is a member of the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. Visit voicesofwrestling.com to hear the rest of our great podcasts, as well as show reviews, columns, opinions, and updates across the world of wrestling.
Very, 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 Mickey, 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 Pishy, Pishy!
You are listening to the Voices of Wrestling podcast with your hosts, Joe Lanza.
X out and go listen to some boring podcast where they're afraid of their own shadow. Okay? Don't listen to Joe Lanza, because Joe Lanza's not changing.
And Rich Craich.
Give me a name. Like who delivers this guy in a big spot?
Joe, don't yell at me. I like him.
In the big spot, who delivers better than this guy?
Stop yelling at me. I agree.
Here also hear me all right. So, okay, I think I am probably better now. I had to reset everything. Do I sound better now?
You sound tremendous, sir.
Okay, all right.
I don't know why I'm calling you sir.
Thank you. You're very prim and proper today. So,
yeah.
We got you a little early here because you thought it was 6:30. So you're usually it's like bursting through the door, Lanza. It was like not quite ready, and then I think that's when you excel though. So I don't know. This could be tough.
I'm all thrown off, but here's the thing: we're going head to head with Dynamite again.
Did you see Did you see what those guys did to try to beat us this week?
I know they booked Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson, come on, TK, come on, Mike Tyson.
We're going head to head with a takeover.
Baddest man on the planet. Unbelievable.
And as a result, and we were on Wednesdays first, by the way, 10 years ago. And as a result, there's like 3 people listening to this right now. So it really doesn't matter what you sound like, Rich. It really doesn't matter what we talk about.
Well, to be fair,
we should do.
To be fair, there will be many, many people listening after this, because obviously not just the $10. I mean, we care about them more than any of them because they give us $10. So the subscribers, the $10 subscribers, patreon.com/voicewrestling, they're listening live. So we do care about them a little bit more. But with that said, there will be people that I'm reading a DM that we just got. I'm just so confused why somebody would reach out to us with this. I'm sorry, I just got completely thrown off by the DM. All right, never mind.
We've gotten some terrible DMs in the last couple of.
This one.
I don't even know.
Well, why would you think we would have this guy?
I don't even know which one you're reading.
This guy says, "Do you have any connections to dojos in Japan?" No.
Nah, man.
We don't.
I don't know why you're asking me that.
How do we have any connections to dojos in Japan?
Yeah, I don't know.
Let me call Yuji. Hey, my man.
That guy might be listening. I mean, you're burying this guy, but
that's true.
I think he deserves it.
Who, Yuji Nagata or the guy that DM'd us?
The guy that DM'd us, because why would we have connections to, like, that's all it says?
It says, I mean, I don't know what he's asking for. It might be, maybe he's doing it for like a research piece or whatever. I'm not going to out his name, obviously, because that'd be very unfair. It says, do you guys have any connections to any dojo in Japan? Any info would be a great help.
Any dojo.
Any dojo.
Like Colega or 01 or any dojo.
Any dojo. Yeah, we could probably, I mean, honestly, if we could probably find a dojo. Like the 01 dojo, we could probably get them to. Hartley Jackson, I think he's listened to us before. He shouted us out before. He uses my gym equipment as well, so.
Do they even have a dojo, or are they the ones that just share it with somebody?
They must. I'm sure they just share it with somebody.
Yeah.
I can't imagine there's a whole lot of talent coming in and out of the 01 dojo these days, but I don't know.
Well, we now have 11 people listening to this with this stiff head-to-head competition. So what I say is we take care of these people who are loyal to us and choose us over Dynamite and TakeOver, and just give them a tremendous show, and just don't slap record. Just don't slap record. And to just send a message and let everybody else know, you show up on our time. We're like Mr. Hand in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. You show up on our time if you want to listen to this show, okay? You don't embarrass us by giving us what is now 12 people listening to the show right now. It's
surging up to 12. I'm looking at this graph here. 13 pretty soon. Yeah, there it is, 13. There it is. Wow.
Actually, I think it was Spicoli who said it was our time. Mr. Hand
Louis
said it was his time. Well, Fast Times at Ridgemont High. So Mr. Hand would always say that, once the bell rings, it's his time. So then Spicoli orders the pizza, right? And then the pizza comes and they deliver it. And Spicoli says, I've been thinking about this. Why is it your time? Isn't it our time? Right? And then Mr. Hand says, "You like the synopsis of Fast
I
Times?"
said, please go
High,
on and continue to explain this 32-year-old movie. Yes, that most people, that most Americans have seen at some point. But yes, go ahead.
You apparently not you, so you need to be caught
No,
up.
I've seen it. It's just been quite a while since I've seen it. So
said Mr. Hand says, "You're right. This is our time." So he takes the pizza and then gives away all of Spicoli's pizza to everybody else in the class. So there you go. That's the scene.
Thank you.
In Fast Time at Ridgemont High, our time. But I didn't do a very good Spicoli impression, though. It definitely wasn't on Matt Riddle's level, which is obviously what he's based on at this point.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Which, again, fantastic character work there to mimic a 34-year-old or whatever movie. It's probably even longer than that at this point, right? I think it was, or maybe it was the year 19. I was born. Yeah, I think it was 87, right?
No, like 82.
Was it really? Oh, shit.
Early
Okay,
80s.
wow. So we're approaching 40 years then on this thing, so.
Early 80s. I have to know now. Man, I just watched it the other day because my wife never saw it. And it
hold up?
Pisses me off. She's never seen any movie, and I can't take it. So whenever I come across a movie she hasn't seen, I make her sit down and watch it. 1982, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so you're talking, 39. That's almost 40 years old. Fast
What were her thoughts on the movie? Did she like it, dislike it? Okay, that's good.
She enjoyed it. Then we Googled what everyone looks like today. Because that's a fun thing to do when a movie's 40 years old. Except for Sean Penn, because everybody knows what Sean Penn
Yeah, she's got the
like.
Sean Penn. Yeah, she probably couldn't believe what Sean Penn looked like at that time, right?
Yeah, she didn't even know it was Sean Penn.
It takes a while. Yeah, I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, "No way!" There's not because it's just like the hair, the color, the long hair. Yeah, it looks just like when you know it's him, you're like, "Oh yeah, duh, okay." But like at first, you're just like, "I don't know." It doesn't quite. I don't know.
Yeah. Jennifer Jason Leigh, Phoebe Cates.
Is she's still a babe, right? She's still a babe.
She disappeared. She married Kevin Kline and then just disappeared. So I don't think she's a babe anymore, to be honest.
What about Jennifer? What about Jennifer Jason Leigh?
Jennifer Jason Leigh? She's still out there.
Okay.
I mean, I never thought she was a babe to begin with, to be honest.
Wow.
But
tough critic.
Yeah, I'm a hard marker.
Forrest Whitaker's in that movie too, right?
Yeah, man, he plays the football
Hell
player.
Yeah.
Plays,
yeah, right. That's awesome.
What was his name? Jefferson, not Jefferson. What the hell was his name in that movie? I have to know now. Or was it Jefferson High? That was the name of the other the opposing high school was Jefferson. Oh no, he was Charles Jefferson. Yeah.
Charles, okay, there you go.
I was random. I think it was Lincoln was the opposing high school, right?
Again, I haven't seen it. I have seen it, unlike the TLB, but I haven't seen it in years.
I'm almost positive it was Lincoln High. That's why I got confused there. Lincoln, Jefferson, both presidents. But yeah, he was Charles Jefferson, Forrest Whitaker. Of course, Judge Reinhold. Who else? Oh, Nicolas Cage, non-speaking role. Eric Stoltz. Good cast.
Nicolas Cage. I didn't know Nicolas Cage was in it at all.
Non-speaking role. He's one of Brad's
he's just a
pals
dude. Just a high school dude.
Yes, but he's in a lot of scenes, but he doesn't get any lines. Like, I think he works at the burger place, and you see him in, some other scenes, but he doesn't get any lines. Eric Stoltz and the dude from ER, I can't remember his name, were Spicoli's smoking buddies too. So yeah, most of the people from that cast went on and did at least a little something. Ray Walston, Mr. Hand, my favorite Martian, right? Ray Walston.
I haven't seen that. I'm like, I also, like your wife, would infuriate you with the lack of movies that I've seen in my entire life. Because you know how like these days you and I never see any movies because we're like too busy watching wrestling or whatever.
Yeah.
I think my entire life, I just never, even as a kid, I really was. I dabbled in. I watched from 1994 to like 1997. I probably watched a fair amount of movies and most of the new movies that came out. But like after that, like as a really young kid, I didn't really watch movies. And then after that, once I discovered wrestling and like sports, I pretty much never watched movies ever again after that. And I watched a lot of TV shows though. I mean, TV, I always was way more attracted to watching a bunch of TV shows than or 5 hours worth of TV than like sitting down and throwing some video or some movie into the VHS player or whatever. I wasn't too keen on that for some reason.
My favorite Martian was a sitcom, Rich.
Oh, well, there you go.
That's okay. That's okay. Either way, you have no clue what it is.
I have no idea. Yeah.
Bottom line. 1960s sitcom? No, you're not big on your 1960s?
Not really.
When I was a kid, I was fascinated with sitcoms, like the Falcon, Mikey Falcone. So I would watch, even if it was My Favorite Martian, Mr. Ed, all those 60s sitcoms. None of them were funny, but I'd watch that shit. So that makes me the weirdo, not you. I don't expect you to know My Favorite Martian.
I'm glad you mentioned Mr. Mikey Falcone. I have a note in my in our show notes here that says shout out Mikey Falcone a little bit later. So you'll have to figure out what that is and why we're shouting him out a little bit later. But
just for the hell of it, he's a nice guy.
He is a nice guy, but yeah, he's getting a lot of plugs on this show. I'll just tell you that. I mean, that was the whole hook to a segment was going to be shouting him out. So
oh man, did I kill your segment?
No, you didn't kill it. The segment is fine. It's not about Mr. Ed, I assure you, so we're okay.
Listen, I'll go 20 minutes on Mr. Ed and My Favorite Martian. I can do that if you want.
I know of Mr. Ed. I don't think I've probably seen an episode of Mr. Ed ever, and I don't know.
It's a talking horse.
Yeah, that other than the talking, I don't remember any other aspects of it other than it has a talking horse in it. So, was there a channel that those were on? Like, were those like a Nick at Night when we were growing up? Or
yeah,
I'm trying to remember because I think I probably watched a few of those here and there. You gotta
hook up your over-the-air antenna and watch like those sub channels.
Yeah, my TV. That's my parents watch the hell out of that stuff. They find a way to get to like the my. It's like ours is, I don't know, that might not be everywhere, but like locally in Chicago, it's called like My TV. So it's like channel 13.9, and it's like it only shows like 1970s sitcoms. I'm just like, oh, why do you watch this? But
any channel with a decimal point or a dash in the number, you're getting some funky shit. You know what you're getting? You're getting episodes of like Leave It to Beaver and ROH. That's what you're getting on channels that have a number and a dash. Because those are all the weird channels that Ring of Honor Wrestling airs on. You know, those Sinclair-owned sub-channels, like you're saying, 13.9, 46-2. And then, it's just on a loop. It's old sitcoms, episodes of Gunsmoke, and ROH Wrestling. Comet is another one. You get the Comet channel where in Chicago
yeah. That one's just Beverly Hillbillies and Ring of Honor. It's nothing else.
Yeah, exactly. And this is the kind of content we give you for the now 19 people listening to this.
You get no. So okay, actually, I'm looking now. If we're talking 1960s sitcoms, I watched a shit ton of I Dream of Jeannie when I was growing up. A lot of the Munsters. I fucking love the Munsters.
I think you were horny for the Genie. Is probably why you were watching I Dream of Jeannie.
I'll plead the fifth on that, but yeah, she's a babe. So
how about Bewitched?
I was about to say Bewitched too. Yeah, I watched a lot of Bewitched.
See, I preferred I Dream of Jeannie. It was probably that little genie outfit. To be honest.
I did too. Yeah, for sure. Dick Van Dyke Show I did, but I didn't really trust Dick Van Dyke. He looked like a weirdo, so I didn't really like him.
This Dick Van Dyke slander.
Yeah, in that show, he just was weird. I don't know. I didn't trust him. He didn't seem like that much of a man in the show. I don't know.
No, he's still alive? 95 years old.
Is he really? Wow. I would have swore he died in like 1997 or something. Wow.
His brother died. Jerry Van Dyke? Coach?
I don't remember Jerry Van Dyke. So I'm sure that
remember Coach?
Yeah.
He was in Coach. He was the simple-minded assistant of Craig T. Nelson. The older guy.
I didn't know his brother was Craig T. Nelson.
That's Jerry Van Dyke. That's, he died a couple years ago. I think he was almost 90 as well. But, on Coach, Craig T. Nelson had two assistant coaches. He had Jerry Van Dyke, and he had the blonde guy that looked like that guy's name was Dauber, the character's name. I don't remember the actor, but he looked like Dan Spivey when he was on his first WWF run, like the same bowl cut.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's what Dauber looked like from Coach. Yeah, so I always thought that too. Like in real time, I'm like, man, he looks like Dan Spivey before he became a member of the Twin Towers in WCW, because then he had spiked hair. You probably remember Dan Spivey with the spiked hair.
Oh, of course, yeah. I don't remember much from that early run. So
the first run there, where he's in, like the '86 WWF run, where he replaced Wyndham in the American Express.
Yes, that's something that's actually going to come up in the WrestleMania randomizer here in a little bit, as I'm approaching a few early WrestleManias are going to come up here very shortly, and I have a lot of notes about the original U.S. Express and all the stuff around that too. That's a fascinating team as well. Just Mike Rotunda and Barry Windham in WWF in 1995 as like white meat baby faces. It's just so weird. Coming out to Real American too, which is the best part of all of it. So yeah.
This should be the show where we just banter for 3 hours, and that could be the punishment for the people that are watching.
The people that are watching Iron Mike Tyson and fucking Stand and Deliver instead of us, yeah.
Yeah, because I could go all night. I could just keep going on. We can. I'll do another 20 minutes on Jerry Van Dyke if you want. I mean, but eventually we're gonna have to get to some of these topics, I guess. But I'm just insulted that our audience just, they shit on us every time we go head to head with this Dynamite. It's, I'm bothered by it. It's hot in here. I need to put on either the air or a fan.
My room is fucking real hot. Yeah, it's gotten balmy here. Man, I'm looking at these 60s Man, I did not realize the 60s had so many like memorable sitcoms. Like this is. Yeah. I'm trying to think. I'm like, I didn't really watch any of these, dude. I watched all of these, every single one of these, except for my favorite Martian. I didn't really watch much of, but like, yeah, I didn't watch much. Leave It to Beaver. I Dream Regina. I watched a bunch. I think Dennis the Menace I watched a bunch growing up. Like all these things were on. Like, was there any other decade that had sitcoms, or was it just the 60s? Because like all these, Addams Family, the Andy Griffith Show. That's my dad still watches the Andy Griffith Show like fucking obsessively. That's probably what's on. I promise at 18.7 my TV whatever right now is probably the Andy Griffith Show that my dad is watching. Flintstones, Brady Bunch, 60s as well.
Wasn't that early 70s?
It's
when
69. It says 1969 for the Brady Bunch, so just slipped in there. So.
Probably like 69 to 74.
That girl,
like that.
Remember that girl?
Yeah, Margot Thomas. Yeah. That girl. Yeah, she married Phil Donahue. That girl. So Phil Donahue was banging her. Yeah, listen, I can do this. This would be good material. Her last name's not Thomas, it's about Marlo Thomas.
Yeah,
that's the actress. Yeah. That was that girl. Yeah.
This is all the shit that's on those weird channels too, like the Fubo TV and Tubi and all these shit. When you're like, what's on these things? You know, these dumb. We always talk about these dumb streaming networks that like, why do they exist whatsoever? That Pluto TV, like the one that New Japan's on now that nobody talks about anymore. Have they even started on that channel? By the way, does anybody know?
I don't think anybody watches it. They started.
They started. Okay, they have started. All right. Well, what? Nobody knows, but like, yeah, you go onto these weird things. You're like, what the hell? And then it's just like episodes of that girl on Tubi or whatever. And you're like, who watches this?
Marlo Thomas, her father was Danny Thomas from the Danny Thomas Show.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that either.
Yeah, I didn't.
No,
you're right.
I have a Danny Thomas story.
Please go. Yeah, great. Please.
So my father was a contractor. He did work on Danny Thomas's house.
Your Italian father was a contractor.
Well, listen, don't stereotype the Italians, okay?
Was he a contractor or a contractor?
He was a subcontractor. I
was doing the wink, wink, nudge, nudge. No, he was out there doing work. Yeah.
Let's not talk about details.
Okay,
the point here is he was at this was Danny Thomas's either house or apartment or something. They were doing a job. And,
a job, huh?
He went through Danny Thomas's Rolodex. That's the story. Because he figured Danny Thomas would have very interesting phone numbers in his Rolodex.
That's fair. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So this was years ago when, Danny Thomas died in 1991. So Rolodexes were obviously a thing in Danny Thomas's time. But he went through Danny Thomas's Rolodex and he got all these phone numbers to like Mickey Rooney and all these fucking old Hollywood guys. So he comes home all excited with these phone numbers, but then we're like, well, what are you going to do with them? You're not going to call.
Yeah, you're going to call Mickey Rooney. Hi, Mickey. Hello. Who is this?
Yeah. I'm
like, how does the next sentence go when Mickey Rooney answers and goes hello? Yeah. How do you respond? Like, what's the next step?
So even me as a 12-year-old, I'm like, this is cool, but you're not going to call Steve Allen. So what's the point? Like, I don't understand what you're going to do with these phone numbers now. But yeah, my father went through Danny Thomas's Rolodex and stole multiple celebrities' phone numbers, which he then never called. So I think the statute of limitations has expired on that story. So I feel free saying that on the air, that my father went through this man's Rolodex. Obviously a major intrusion of privacy. But considering Danny Thomas has been dead for, 31 years.
Yeah, there's a good chance nobody from his estate is listening to this right now either.
I don't think anybody in that Rolodex is even alive. So
right. I was going to ask for Steve Allen's number because he comes up in the WrestleMania randomizers as well. I have a very long Steve Allen, WrestleMania 6. He was a big part of WrestleMania 6. So I have a lot of Steve Allen thoughts as well. And I was going to see if maybe I can speak to him firsthand, but I'm pretty sure he died like 5 years ago or something.
We're on the same wavelength here. I keep bringing up things you're going to bring up.
I know,
later.
It's unbelievable. It's like, and I swear, there's no, I mean, it just happened. This WrestleMania randomizer's been a gold mine of takes here and things to get into. But yeah, when did Steve Allen die? I was going to say I could call him, but I think he died in 2000 actually. It's lasted longer than I thought he did, so good for him.
That's 21 years ago now. You don't think of 2000 being 21 years ago.
It's a long time ago.
Right?
So.
Like, he's basically reduced to bones at this point, wherever he's buried. But like when you think of the year 2000 in your mind, that's not a long time ago.
Right,
but the reality is that's a long time ago. That's 21 years ago. Like in the year 2000, 21 years ago was 1979.
God damn it.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
So it's like,
and I feel very old now. So you're right.
It's fucking insane.
Yeah,
like,
that's ridiculous. Yeah, that's like there's always those things that like you'll see online where it's like, if that '70s show took place today, it'd be like, you know what I mean? Like, if you try to do
right.
It's like, well, from it was this many years removed from this, the '70s time period. And if it was today, it would be like, and you see those, and you're just like, oh my god, you're right. That would be horrific.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's like any year with the 2000 in front of it, you don't associate with being a long time ago.
Right.
But, that motherfucker died before 9/11, which again, you don't think was that long ago. I don't think of 9/11 as being a long time ago. We have listeners who were born after 9/11, though.
Oh, plenty. Yeah, several.
That's fucking sick. Like, I can't even wrap my brain around that. That there's adults listening to this show that were born after 9/11. The only world they know is taking off shoes in the airport and the fucking hellscape we're in. Right. That's all they know.
Airports being a pain in the ass, as opposed to the classic days of show up at the airport literally 3 minutes before your flight and you're in and on that plane and ready to go. I
just run to the plane and hop on. That's all.
Right. Like, I was, of course, not alive for the walk up to the tarmac area time, which I can't believe that was ever a thing. It should have been a thing because they had how many hijackings in the 70s? Like, that really should never have been a thing where you could just walk out of the plane with no sort of thing. But I was at least alive in the 90s where you could show up to the airport. Your flight's what's our flight? 10:30. All right. You leave the house at 9:30. You know what I mean? Stroll up 15 minutes prior.
Yeah.
Or now, I get to the airport like 3 hours early. I'm like, just in case. You never know. So.
Right. Yeah, I'm the same way.
Thumbing through the fucking newspaper thumbing through the magazines at the fucking Hudson News in whatever stupid airport we're in. So.
I'm still operating on 2002 airport rule. Like, you better get there 3 hours early because
they're going to check everything. They're going to swab you. They're going to take blood. They're going to do all this, and it's like they've really they've gotten pretty lax about the security. But I'm still,
they're so much more efficient now. I was in an airport recently. I forget what for, fucking funeral or something. But I thought I was being slick. And I took my shoes off like real early, right? Like, I'm gonna be the guy who isn't fumbling with his shoelaces when he gets to the front of the line. And then I realized I was in an airport where you don't even have to do that anymore.
I know, it's weird. Then, one of the Chicago airports you do have to take your shoes off. The other one you don't. And I forget which one it is even today. Yeah. And I'm sure I'm going to fly out of one of them pretty soon and forget which one it is.
So instead of being the cool guy ahead of everyone, I was the only jerk with his shoes off.
Smelly feet all over the place. Which this used to be normal. We all did this before.
That backfired on me. But the thing is, like, I'm so self-conscious. If I know I'm going to an airport, I wear the best pair of socks I own. Like, I am not going to be that guy with the holes in his socks or the socks that he's owned since 1998. I think about these things ahead of time because I'm a crazy person. And I want to make sure that all the people there who are not even going to look at my socks, but if they do glance at my socks, they're going to see the cleanest, freshest pair of socks.
That guy cares about what he looks like. And I wish I could strive to be like that man right there. The Adonis in front of me with perfect shoes and
because I want them to say that's a guy who puts a lot of effort into staying in top peak physical condition and he has tremendously clean socks. That's what I want them to say when they look at me in the airport, because I know when I'm in the airport, I look at everybody when they're taking their shoes off because I'm curious if they cared enough to not wear terrible socks. And the fact is, a lot of people do in fact wear terrible socks at the airport. I don't understand it. You're representing yourself out there. You can't be wearing socks with holes in them or just ugly socks. And the worst, mismatched socks. What are you doing? Get it together. Get it together.
I know. Hey, look.
People are going to be seeing you. You get it together with the mismatched socks at the airport, And then I'm like, everyone's been walking around this place with their socks. This is disgusting.
There's a great comment in the chat room that says Joe and Rich trying to corner NXT's over 50 demo here with the airport security. Boo! Like, we're talking about socks and airport security.
So talking about Steve Allen wasn't cornering the bar, but airport security, that's where they draw their line.
Oh, maybe it was the Steve. Okay. Maybe he's a little behind to talk about the Steve Allen part too. Maybe
that's true. Yeah. But
he's not wrong on any of the accord, but
this is, so much of this is, look, we're talking about people listening to this show born after 9/11, and we were just sitting here talking about Danny Thomas, so they have no clue what's happening. But see, I never see that as an excuse. Circling back to TLB
learn about it. Yeah, educate yourself.
The fact she's never seen a movie. Like, she always plays that card with me. She's like, well, this movie was out when I was 3. And I'm like, so what? Like, it's a popular movie that people have seen. That's no excuse, you know? You should have seen it at some point. I hate when people say that. Now I'm all fired up about.
Well, I was circling back to the sock discussion because I'm very fascinated by this because I have very similar thoughts about socks as well. Do you put like a special area for socks? Like if you're going on a vacation, do you buy new socks and those are like your vacation socks?
If I don't have what I deem is an acceptable pair of airport socks, I will buy a new pair of socks.
Yeah, I do the same. I have right now, currently in the bag in my bedroom, 2 new boxes or packages or whatever of quote unquote vacation socks. Because it's not just the airport; it's also every day. I don't want to have any sort of guessing game when I put my socks on and there's a hole in it or fresh new socks, open from the package the entire vacation. I want to live in luxury during this vacation. Underwear, it applies to underwear too. If the underwear is not looking perfect, new vacation underwear too, for sure.
I don't know if I'm going to get flagged in that airport. Maybe they're going to see my underwear. How do I know? They don't strip you down, do they?
Not an airport I've ever been to.
All right. I might look shady to them though, you know. They might be like,
yeah.
This
well,
guy
I do. I very often get like put to the side for like the special check or whatever. I don't know why. It's always pretty. It was especially weird around 9/11 too, because I don't know if you remember this. And this is again. This is not me, but it like. You would always go through the lines and they would do the quote random searches. Remember, quote unquote random searches. And it was like always me and then like the next 9 like Muslim or Indian people behind me. And they're like, you and these. They're like, oh, we're just going to go random. I don't know, these 10 people and this guy. And I'm like, oh, come on. Like,
you were always the token.
I know. They're like, oh, it's just completely random. I guess we'll just take these 2 families all together. And then, this guy. All right. I'm like, oh, come on.
Rich was always the plausible deniability.
Yeah. They're like,
guy.
No. We took this guy too. Like, look,
Yeah.
we're not being prejudiced at all. We took that guy.
No one could be whiter than this man.
Right.
Who we
I
have
know. I
also
was like, what do
chosen.
they think about me?
Yes.
They're like, all right, get a white guy. Just find a white guy. Any white guy. Oh, that guy looks pretty white. I was like, oh man.
Find the whitest guy in this airport because we need him right now.
Lamest looking white guy we could find, just so we could say no, random. Look.
Yes.
And it was ridiculous. Like, I will just stick these 11 people here, and this guy. I was like, oh, fuck, god damn it.
So what do they do? I've never been picked. Do they like jostle your balls? Do they check in your armpits?
No,
What do
they do. They do. They'll pat you down. They have like a special wand, and then back before, I mean, they get pretty wild. They'll like, because you have to take your belt off anyway, and they're just like questioning, like, do you have anything else? I'm like, I don't know what else you want me to have in here. They usually one time they will do the finger thing too, where they'll grab you.
Whoa.
Well, not that finger, thing. I shouldn't say. I didn't get a cavity search here. They'll do the thing where they wipe your fingers.
To you at the airport?
Yeah.
What happened to you, sir?
No, I don't want to talk about it. Show me where the person touched you, Rich.
Yeah.
Show on the stuffed animal where they touched you. No, they wipe your finger, your fingers to see if you have like bomb residue on them or something like that. And
oh my god!
I was like, come on. And one of these, it was legitimately because I left my like Nintendo Switch in my backpack. And they tell you not to. They tell you take everything out, and I forgot I had the Switch in there. And they're like, fuck this guy. What an asshole. So they decided to do this guy must have bomb residue all over his body because he left his Switch in there. And believe it or not, I did not have bomb residue anywhere near me. So,
no, well, I mean, I like to be prepared guy. Belt is off. I don't even wear a belt if I don't have to. Laptop is out of the strap is off the bag. You gotta I like to be the guy. I don't want to be the guy that everyone's mad at because
holding up the line guy.
Dope.
Yeah.
Yes, he leaves the laptop in the bag, and then the agent is like mad at you, and then the other agents are mad at you, then everyone behind you is mad at you.
The best is it comes down the conveyor belt, and the guy goes, "Is this yours?" And you're just like, "Oh man, yeah, it is.
Yeah, they have to.
He knows it's yours. He knows it's yours. He could just talk to you. He could just say, "Hey, you left this in here," but he like makes a head nod. I'm doing the head nod here. You can't hear it, but you can. I'm sure you can see it. He does the head nod and goes, "Is this yours?" It's like,
yeah.
Says,
yeah.
Isn't it no laptops, no iPads, no gaming consoles? I'm like, yeah, it is.
Yep.
You're right.
Yep. He's got to re-explain to you.
Right.
And that's even with the benefit of they always have the one guy at the start of the line whose job it is just to repeat all that to the people in line to remind you. He's got the shittiest job of all because he just has to repeat that line over and over for the entirety of his 8-hour shift. And then there's still people who will leave the laptop
dorks like me
in their bag, despite the fact that the very angry-looking and annoyed-looking man repeats over and over, remove all laptops and iPads from your bag, remove all straps from your bag, please remove your belt. They still will leave the laptop in the bag. It's incredible to me. I have a fear of being – see, some people don't care. They don't have that shame gene in their body. I have that. I don't ever want to feel like all eyes are on me and I'm being shamed, but some people don't care about that shit, So it's usually the same guy or the same girl with the 2 different socks on that also leaves something in the bag or attempts to bring a 48-ounce bottle of liquid onto the plane, even though we've been doing this for 21 years now. Like, that's usually the same person.
I'm a big fan of in 2017, we have to take our shoes off guy. I'm like, where have you been, dude? Like that guy who looks around like, oh, we have to take our shoes off and our belt, and I'm like, where have you been, dude? Like you said, that 11's been 20 years ago. Like,
you're 59. I'm sure you've flown in the last 21 years. He
doesn't look around like this. Are you serious? Sorry, I take my shoes off.
Well, he's waiting for someone to back him up. He's looking for backup. Is what he's doing.
And nobody else. Everyone's just head down. They just want to get through this part. They don't want to cause any issues. They don't want the drug sniffing dog to be going nuts. They just want to get through get through the line and go sit down and waste an hour and a half at Hudson News, thumbing through the magazines and eating their $8 trail mix that they had to buy. So
that's what their vending machine ham and cheese sandwich. Right. That's what it all comes down to. Hanging out in the terminal, which I love. I love the terminal.
You're a psychopath with your enjoyment of terminal. I think we've had this discussion before. What are your go-to? What are the best airport terminals you've ever been to? I know you're a big fan of McCarran Airport. Is that correct?
I mean, because that's got the slot machines and shit, so you can gamble while you're in the terminal, which obviously is going to keep you occupied. So I mean, you really can't beat McCarran. But the rest of them are all the same. Look. The terminal just has so many little stories, I like the stories that you could put together. You got guy sleeping against the wall who's been there for 46 hours, guy in the terminal. You got family with the rambunctious children where the father looks like, he wants to end his life. You got pilot getting drunk at the bar and you're wondering if that's before or after.
I'm a big fan of that guy where you're like, I hope that's it. And then he gets up and he walks and you're kind of like, oh no. And then he turns, you're like, oh, thank God. Like he's going to do some other flight.
You follow that guy to see if he's actually
Because if he walks onto your plane, you're like, oh man, all right. I actually saw that man drinking at the pizza bar that we had in our
Right. You've got sexy stewardess with the bag on the wheels walking with a civilian, and you're wondering if they're going to go fuck in a hotel room, like maybe they met on the plane. It's just, I find the terminal to be so interesting. You go into the bathroom, you got guy who's basically taking a shower in the sink guy. You got him. I feel like it's an interesting cross section of the population. I make up little stories in my head for all these people. I like to observe, and it's like a little adventure. I like when my flights get delayed. I'm the only person on earth who enjoys a flight delay.
Maniac. Yeah.
Because then I'm like, I have a little adventure in my head. I'm like, oh, am I going to get a voucher? Am I going to get an $11 voucher that I could use at that half menu Applebee's? And that excites me, And then it's like, oh, well, how am I going to kill the next 6 hours and 45 minutes? Before I do get on this flight. And I love telling people on the other end, like when I'm, I got the flight delay. And I like giving them my new itinerary when I get a flight delay and plotting it out. I like to make myself a little victim, I like to make myself a little victim, and I recalculate my time, and I wonder when it is I'm going to get to my destination. It's just all so fun to me.
This is ridiculous. Yeah.
It's a little adventure.
I guess you haven't been to some really terrible, because there's, we're talking about arriving to an airport way too early. I remember doing that in Oakland. I remember arriving like way too early to the airport in Oakland. The airport in Oakland, I'm used to the Chicago airports where, honestly, I could waste 2 hours just walking back and forth, checking this stuff out. Like you said, there's always people moving around. There's always things happening or whatever. This Oakland airport, the terminal was literally like the size of my house. It was like, three exits, one store, and that's it. And I was just like, what the fuck am I going to do here for 2.5 hours?
Yeah.
Which is pretty tough. But I'm a big fan of looking at, good window watching as well, good people watching. So I get it. I get it. It's just the food becomes an issue too when you're hungry and there's just nothing to eat and everything is expensive or bad or.
Nah, you got a Chili's with 1/3 of the normal menu.
Jeez.
That's what you've got, So you make do.
Yeah, like $37 fucking shitty ribs. Yeah, perfect. I can't wait. So.
Yeah, but you get the voucher if your flight's delayed. You get the little voucher from the, It's always a random amount too. It's always like $11.
Yeah, like oh cool, $11.76 for having a late flight. Thank you. Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah. I don't understand.
Just give me one free meal. Just give me a coupon for one free meal. But I guess they have to keep it down to something. So.
I wonder how they come up with the random amount. Like, why isn't it either 10 or 15? Why is it $11.76? I never get that. They must have some deal with these restaurants in the airport. It must be like a percentage thing or something. I don't know. But then you're on the hunt. You're like, ooh, what can I eat for $11.76? What can I get for free? I don't want to put out anything for this meal, so let's see how close I can get. Because then it becomes like the Price is Right. You want to find something to eat without going over. You want to get as close to that $11.76 as you can get without going over. And then you feel like you accomplished something. They bring out your meal. That'll be $11.58. You fist pump. You're like, man, I really took advantage of this voucher. I got it.
Right, here you go, ma'am.
There's like only 18 cents to spare. Man, that's a nice job out of me, But I get into that. I like the terminal.
Well, I'm glad somebody in the world does because, I don't know. I don't hate it as
Tom
much as
Hanks.
others. I don't hate it as much. You have helped me enjoy them a little bit more. I won't lie. Your sell job of airport terminals has certainly made me slightly more interested in them, and at least not hate my life when I'm inside of them. So that I do thank you for that. I'm now a frequent walk from one end to the other guy because you can take in a lot. If you sit in one seat, you can take in a bunch, but it tends to be a lot of repeat people, same people. Like you said, you have to see the guy sleeping and the kids or whatever. But if you walk, I mean that really opens everything up.
Yeah.
You get floor buffer guy, employee that's buffing the floor all the time,
Oh yeah, or airport employee driving the inside car thing that has no regard for the people in front of them.
Right.
They'll just hit that horn once. That's all. That's the only chance you get because they're not stopping and they're not swerving. You hear that horn, you get out of the way because they're not slowing down. They're not stopping. They usually have an old person or maybe someone who's late for a flight on that thing. So they got no time for your bullshit. And you hear that beep, you better dive out of the way. I think they enjoy the fact that people are diving out of their way.
Oh, for sure.
Like
they have to live like, yeah.
It's like Madden 92 when the ambulance comes on the field and just fucking plows over all the. That's what those things look like in the airport.
Should we talk about wrestling at some point? I don't care. I mean, I don't care, to be honest, but.
It's probably time for an ad read by now.
Honestly, it probably is. You want to do it? Let's do ad read. Yeah. Let's go ahead. This episode of the Voice of Wrestling Flagship Podcast is sponsored by our friends, Joe, at MyBookie. And madness, the March Madness is over, but that is okay. You can still win with MyBookie. They have NBA, NHL, MLB kicking off. Plenty of things to do. WrestleMania. Odds up there at mybookie.ag for WrestleMania. We might actually check those out here. Actually, you know what? No, we're going to check those out right now. How about that, Joe? You want to do some quick and dirty, try to get an idea of what the hell's going on in Vince McMahon's head game here? Let's do that. MyBookie. By the way, it's mybookie.ag, promo code VOICES. mybookie.ag, promo code VOICES. Deposit bonus up to $1,000 as well at MyBookie there. So let's see what we can do for WrestleMania. If this comes up, it's going very slow. It's good. Okay.
I'm ahead of you.
There we go. All right. I don't have to do all these, but
WWE specials.
There we go. Yeah, WWE specials is what it is. So I got Cesaro -200, Seth Rollins +160.
Yeah, Cesaro, a big favorite.
Big favorite. Yeah, I am. I think I'd lay down a little bit on old Seth to do it, especially after the rah job he did on Twitter this week. I'd really
Yeah.
This one, I mean, this is absolutely the right bet to do, but I guess you never know. Braun Strowman -600 to Shane McMahon +350.
Do you really want to lay the -600 on Strowman, though?
I don't, because I think Shane could go off the top of this cage and like an elbow drop through a table or whatever, and yeah, they could, or 10 guys interfere on Shane McMahon's behalf. So that's That's an interesting one there. I love this. Coin flip here. Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre. -120 on both those guys. -120 on both those guys.
Yeah, they're both -120. So,
don't bet that one. Don't bet that one because there's not much point. So, I guess.
I say Vegas, but that's not Vegas. But no, they look, the book sees this as a coin flip match. I agree. I have no feel on who's going to win that. So,
does this constitute our WrestleMania preview at this point?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. I was going to say we can get out of it. We can get out of it by just doing this.
Not getting out of it. Sasha Banks +200. Bianca Belair -300.
That's
I do
fair.
think Belair's going to win
Yeah,
that.
I do too, yeah.
The Bad Bunny.
This one, I
Priest.
almost want to. I mean, I know there's no chance in the world.
You can't make any money, though. Unless you're talking about betting on Miz and
I'm
Morrison.
thinking about, at worst, you put $10 on it. You know what I mean? And I don't see any universe in which Bad Bunny is not raising the hand of Damian Priest after this, but I like it. What I'm also going to take umbrage with, what I can do is do this bet, and then maybe I can ask them, hey, you have this as a tag team match. It's not a tag team match, guys. So give me my money back.
How's it not a tag team match?
Because it's not. It's a singles match.
What?
It's the Miz versus the Bad Bunny. Yeah. Oh, you're a Monday Night Raw viewer, I thought.
Yeah, it's a tag match now.
Oh, is it? Oh, did they turn it into a tag match again? I didn't watch Raw. I didn't
backwards.
watch Raw this weekend. So.
What's wrong with you? Yeah,
No,
they
it
got
was a
back.
singles match, I thought.
No, they changed it to a tag after the car attack.
Oh, shit. All right, well, there.
So it's Bad Bunny and Damian Priest are -2,000.
Yeah, okay.
Like I said, can't make any money on that.
Make any money there.
Miz and Morrison are +800. But there's actually a prop on that match. Will Bad Bunny score the pin? Yes is -200. Yes, no is +160. So, I don't, if I'm doing WrestleMania prop bets on who's going to
You really got to look in the mirror. That's a mirror look for sure.
So New Day's +120 against AJ Styles and Omos -150. Look, I think AJ Styles and Omos might be the best play on this board. That's a cheap number. And AJ has gotten beaten like a drum in this feud. They're winning those titles. So, and that's cheap. -150.
That's not bad, yeah.
That's where you can make a little bit of money. Mysterio and Dominic, who I will never care about, -300. Ziggler and Rude,
The Dirty Dogs.
+200.
The Dirty Dogs.
Yeah. Kevin Owens is -200. Zayn is +160. Rhea Ripley's
I think you can make good money.
Who are you liking that?
Never mind. No, I think I like Zayn in there with the Logan Paul influence in there. But Zayn's kind of a dork too. But I don't know. Yeah, it's tough to say with Logan Paul being involved. So I don't know.
Ripley's -200. Asuka +160. The Fiend is -500 against Randy Orton's +300.
I don't hate that.
Remember, the Fiend is the babyface.
Yes, correct. Yeah, I don't hate that for just a straight up singles match. If it was a swamp alligator eating match, then maybe the Fiend would be my. But yeah, I think Randy Orton can win a singles match because it's just a wrestling match between these two men. Bunch of top
Big E
wrist
and Apollo
locks.
Crews.
Yeah.
Big E and Apollo Crews both -120.
Yeah.
And then the three-way, Edge is +110, Reigns is +140, and D-Bry is +200. So no matter who you like there, you're on the plus side of the money. So you're going to get good value no matter who you like in that match. But Edge seems to be the favorite at this point.
Like these ones too. There's some other props. Will Brock Lesnar appear at WrestleMania? Yes, +200. No, -300.
I like no. I like the no
I like
side
no a
of
lot
that
too. Yeah, that's pretty good. We'll see CM Punk appear at WrestleMania. +1,000 for yes, -400 for no. So
-4,000.
or 4,000. Yeah, not 400. 4,000.
Which is obviously a lock, but the problem is you cannot make any money on that bet. I mean, you got to bet thousands of dollars to make anything, so it's a waste of time and too risky. Becky Lynch is even -120 on either side. And then, will Logan Paul be put through a table?
Oh,
yes.
yes. Oh,
900.
my God. Oh, I was hoping yes was. Oh, yeah, it's not terrible value for yes.
It's +900.
Oh.
If you think he's going through the table, you can make a ton of money on that.
I might do that. Yeah, I might have to do that then. He's going through a fucking table, right?
Put $100 on it.
Yeah, I might.
You can make $900 back on that.
That's not bad. I'm thinking that's not a bad bet there. That's the
there
same value. That's the same value as we'll see CM Punk appear, right? Did you say +900?
Pretty much. Logan Paul to be put through a table, plus 900.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
CM Punk to appear is plus 1,000.
Yeah, that's okay. All right.
There's not even there's no opposite side of that Logan Paul bet. They're only taking action on yes. That's a weird one, isn't it?
That's a strange one. Yeah. Is that
Something's
smart money?
happening
Is that
there,
smart
maybe.
money coming in there? What are we doing here?
I'm thinking maybe someone put maybe they are maybe they're really exposed on no, so they took it off the board, and they want people to bet yes to even out their exposure.
Well, I'm about to
I mean,
do
we've
it
seen
right
that
now.
happen
It's
before.
on the air here. That's a good bet. I think I like that one.
This is all for entertainment purposes.
Yes,
only,
of course.
by the way.
Yeah. No, I would never actually.
I don't think we have to say that though.
Do
right?
we? Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I think you're kind of done with that now. People don't say that for
We're
anything.
advertising a fucking bookmaker. We don't have to say it's for entertainment purposes only.
Wow, $30 wins $270.
Yeah, we don't have to say 30 units.
Yes.
We can just say
Shit.
30 buckaroos,
Fuck. All right. Yeah.
30 ducats.
Boom.
You ever say ducats?
I do,
in
yes,
place
because of I say ducats a lot because of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, where they say give me them ducats every time they're on the ground. Like you shoot
Yes.
somebody and you walk over their dead body, it goes give me them ducats.
That's true.
So
That's
I
true.
say ducats very, very often. Yes.
Yes. You can bet 30 Benjamins. That wouldn't be 30 Benjamins. That would be 30.
300. Yeah,
that'd be
I'm not putting 300.
$3,000.
Yeah, or 3,000. Yeah,
That'd be $3,000. Rich is not going to bet $3,000 on a Logan Paul prop bet at WrestleMania.
The limit is $25 on the Logan Paul bet, but that's okay. I'll do it anyway. That's fine.
Oh, it's a $25 cap on
$25
that?
cap. Yeah, so I can win $225 if Logan Paul goes through a table. So.
Why don't you do it? It's $25. Why don't you do it?
Don't worry, I'm working on it. So.
Yeah.
I'm in the midst of literally clicking it as we're going. So
Rich is making the bet. He got talked into it right on the air.
I'm loving that bet. I am loving that bet for sure.
Nice
Plus
job,
900 on
Eddie.
Logan Paul. I mean, yeah, going through that table. Maybe bring Logan
The
Paul there.
Masters this weekend as well. You could bet on the Masters.
That's true. You got the Masters. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, the slip is in. $225 if Logan Paul goes through a table.
How about that? Right on the air, Rich has placed a wager on Logan Paul going through the table at plus 900. So what's the is this still the ad read or no?
I think so. Yeah, it's a promo code VOICES to get that deposit bonus up to $1,000. Again, just as I got potentially free money there with the Logan Paul bet, you could potentially get free money as well. Use that promo code VOICES. They'll give you a deposit bonus up to $1,000. You put $1,000 in, they'll give you $1,000. Again, mybookie.ag promo code VOICES to do that. And as we mentioned last week as well, they a lot of times will do those kind of free bets. We talked about that. It was Dodgers versus Rockies or something like that. And they put the line at 0.5 runs or whatever. And that was, of course, somebody was going to score a run during that game. So anybody that bet on it, we heard from many people that did, they're all billionaires now and they've all retired and quit their jobs. So that could be you too. If you get in there, mybookie.ag promo code VOICES and get that deposit bonus. Yeah. Masters, NBA, NHL, MLB, WrestleMania, wrestling prop bets. It's all there.
They had AEW Revolution up there a couple.
That's right. I do remember that. Yeah, they've kind of dabbled in the AEW stuff too, so that's pretty good. Live in-game betting as well, and as you can see, it was very easy. In what was it, 3 minutes? I was able to put a bet there for Logan Paul. Thousands of lines and odds. Turn game day into payday. Of course, you can bet anytime, on anything, anywhere with MyBookie. MyBookie.ag promo code VOICES.
You know, and even if you listen to this show on Saturday or Friday, you can bet on the Masters all tournament long. You can live bet it, so you don't have to get it in before
so that's it. Okay, so you can kind of, because that's, I mean, the odds on that is probably going to be like crazy.
Well, I bet golf all the time, and I never bet until Sunday.
Because you're just throwing money away until
halfway
through the day Saturday. I mean, you could take a real. I mean, if you nail it, you'll nail it. I mean, you'll make a. But who knows?
Yeah, you're going to get better odds on before Thursday.
Sure.
You're going to get better odds, obviously, because everyone's going to be on the plus side of the money before the tournament. But you know, it's the closer you get to the finish, obviously, you try to get decent odds. You know, I try to take a look at these tournaments around the 10th or 11th hole on Sunday, and then I try to figure out who I like from there. And then that's the way I attack the golf betting. But if you bet it today, you know, everybody's on the plus side of the money. Like Dustin Johnson's the favorite. He's plus 900. And he crushed this course in November when they played the Masters in November. Because remember, they had to play it in November because of COVID.
Right.
And he destroyed the course. I mean, he just broke all kinds of records. So it's the same course, but they're saying it's going to play harder this time around. Pin placement, things like that. So we'll see. But, you know, obviously Dustin Johnson, he's not a big favorite, though. I mean, Spieth is plus 900. They have the same odds. DeChambeau's plus 1,000. So Rahm is 1,200. So Yeah, I mean, but you're going to get good odds on anybody at this point. But they'll match the deposit, Rich.
They will. Yeah, good stuff there. Yeah. So what Masters on Sunday goes pretty late in the day, right? Will that maybe butt up with the beginning of WrestleMania? I think WrestleMania is 8 Eastern on Sunday.
It'll probably be over by
They'll probably done around 4 or 5 usually. I'm trying to think, right?
Right around dusk.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Because I always, like, no matter what, I'm not a big golf guy, but I always watch like the final few holes of the Masters. You gotta you know what I mean? There's so much history there. It's a beautiful looking course. The sun's setting. Everyone's hyped up. It's like a once in a lifetime moment. It's like I always try to, no matter where I am, no matter what I'm doing, I always try to watch the final few minutes of a Stanley Cup, the final few seconds of an NBA final, the final out of a World Series. I always try to make sure that no matter where I am in the world or whatever I'm doing, I see those. You know what I mean? I always make sure to I'm sitting down and watching those. So I think I've seen literally like every end of the World Series. I don't think there's been one World Series where I got a notification on my phone that it was over. You know what I mean? I've always sat down and made sure I'm watching every NBA Finals. I make sure I watch it till the final minute. Like, yeah, that's those sort of poignant sports moments. You don't want to miss any of those. So. Masters, I always try to catch the last few minutes of the Masters. So,
yeah, DJ, he broke 9 records in November on that course.
Damn.
So, I mean, if I'm telling anybody, if you're betting that today, obviously that's the play.
That's the play there. So, mybookie.ag.
Then when he's 4 over on Thursday, we're going to get a bunch of messages on Twitter telling me how stupid I am.
Well,
but
it's golf betting, Hey,
he's not going to be 4 over on Thursday. I can promise you that. I will have that on. I'm going to have the Masters on the big screen. The indie wrestling on the laptop. I got my new couch today. I'm ready to go.
Oh, you're good. Yeah, new couch for WrestleMania Weekend. Wow, you're really excited about this WrestleMania Weekend.
New couch. And my back is on fire because I'm stubborn, and I haven't had a couch in my living room for 4 days because we got rid of the old couch. Because the new couch is coming. So we got rid of the old couch, didn't have furniture for 4 days. But because I wanted to watch the big TV in the big room, I laid on the hardwood floor for 4 days, and now my back is just destroyed, probably forever.
Okay, so how are we laying? Are we laying stomach first, looking up at the TV like an 8-year-old, or like what are we doing?
No, I got like one
Indian
of those,
style. I don't know. Is that problematic to call it Indian style these days? But I'm Cherokee. I'm Cherokee. I'm allowed to say that.
All right, you're off the hook.
Yeah.
I had one of those. The kids have a gimmicks that they lay on, like these long.
The body pillows, like a big body pillow.
I guess so, yeah. And so I put that
those
on
are
the
horrific
floor.
For an old. They can do it because their bodies are just goop and gel. You're gonna be sore for fucking months. You can't.
So I propped up the half of it against the wall.
Oh, you're
I was
fucked. You're so fucked.
So I was like, I'm good. So I would sit there and watch my Reds games, right? I'd get 3 or 4 Coke Z's, so I wouldn't have to get up and get that. And then as soon as I tried to get up, like my body wouldn't even move. Like I couldn't even. I was like, oh man, I think I'm stuck.
Yeah, you're fucked.
And then I get up and it's like my back is just on fire. And the next day, what do? Because I'm fucking stupid.
Same thing.
I do it again because I cannot. Listen, I have 5 other TVs in this house, but I want to watch. It's fucking baseball. It's the first weekend. I want to watch the big TV.
I got the Reds hitting dingers left and right. You gotta watch the
They're
dingers
on
on the big
fire.
screen. Yeah,
they're breaking all kinds of records. They scored 11 more runs today. Big 4-1 start. So, you would think I would just go get like a dining room chair or something, right? But no, I'm sitting on the floor. In this, I didn't think of grabbing like another kind of chair until today, which doesn't make any sense. But the point here is, I got my new couches now. There's nothing like a new couch either. You ever sit like the new couch?
Yeah,
is just
it's great. The first fart is tremendous. You got to build up the ass groove. That's a good part about it too. There's new parts of it that you've never seen before. The legs go up and down a few times. You're like, oh, look at that.
Oh, you know what I got? You know what we got? We got these couches that every part of each of the couches has the electric gimmick which raises up for the legs. And
you're living. You're living now.
They've got the slots where you can plug your phone into the couch, so you don't even have to charge your phone.
I was gonna say cup holders. You've taken another level here with the plugs.
Yeah, one of them has cup holders, and then the other has the slots where you can plug your USB in for your device. Yeah, it's tremendous. It's so exciting. A new couch is so exciting. But I get tired of furniture quickly. Like I've lived in this house 11 or 12 years, and I've probably had 5 or 6 different sets of furniture. I get tired of it. Like I get tired of furniture and cars extremely quickly. Like I will drive a car for 2 years and most people are like, oh, it's still new. I'm like, nah, I'm tired of this car. I can't wait to get it. Same thing with the furniture. Like I just get tired of looking at the same furniture. So,
Joe Moneybags over there. Yeah, I was gonna say Patreon must be doing better than I thought. Jeez.
Hey, well, listen.
New car every 2 years. Jeez.
You sell the other furniture.
I know. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah, we had some fucking derelicts come down and get the old furniture on Saturday, and we sold the furniture to these geeks. They came with like a whole flatbed gimmick, and so then you put that towards the new furniture. It's like getting a rebate. It's like getting a little discount on the new furniture when you sell the old furniture. But if you keep your furniture for like 10, 12 years, you can't sell that shit. No,
it's over. Yeah, you got to throw that on the curb. Yeah, that's what I had to go through last summer where I just threw the shit on the curb. Nobody took it. So I had to wheel it back because I didn't have enough garbage stickers to actually throw this thing out. The garbage stickers are fucking insane to try to throw a couch out. So I tried to sell it on next door neighbor, and then nobody would come and get it, and then people were asking me questions. Eventually, I think I just took a chainsaw to it and just like cut it up into 1,000. Essentially, I just over the course of the next month and a half, just like ripped it apart and stuffed it into my garbage, and then took it out that way. So.
Yeah. So if you can, like this furniture, we got a couple years ago. It was actually furniture from when we combined the households. It was nobody cares. But the point is, it wasn't that old. So we were able to sell it and get several. I didn't think we'd be able to get anything for it because I'm like, this is fucking old furniture. We've been farting in it, fucking on it. Nobody wants this. There's been dogs on it. Fucking.
Oh, I forgot about the first bang on the new couches. Yeah.
Oh, I know. I can't wait. The couches just came today, so I haven't had an opportunity to break them in that manner yet.
And plug your phone in while you're doing it too, which is fantastic.
Yeah, because you can watch the porn while you're doing it on the phone.
Fantastic.
But what was I saying? So I was like, you're not going to get anything for these fucking couches, and TLB's like, watch me. She used the Facebook gimmick.
Oh, Facebook Marketplace. Oh, plenty of derelicts on that. I'm no doubt the derelict came for sure. Yeah.
I was like, you're never getting anything for this. You're lucky. You'll be paying someone to take it away. And she put $500 on there, and there were messages just flying in for this fucking couch. Like Rich, within like 3 minutes. It was disgustingly fast. So then, she chose her fucking buyer, and they were here the next day and with their fucking flatbed, and they fucking picked it up. And I couldn't believe. I was stunned. I was stunned at her ability to sell that furniture. But then you put it towards the new. So that's like having $500 off the new furniture.
Might have to contact her next time I'm trying it, because I do not have luck on Nextdoor or Facebook Marketplace. It's always just weirdos or people that want it for free and type stuff.
Oh, don't get me wrong. These were weirdos. These were very weird.
Well, when I say weirdos, I mean like, every guy wanted to meet me in like the weirdest place that I'm like, I was trying to sell something, and I work at like a store, and I was like, well, you can just meet me at the store and I'll bring it or whatever. And he's like, no, I want to meet in the alley behind like this grocery store that's like nowhere near where I'm at. I'm like, I'm not going to come to like the Food for Less alley and do a transaction.
Right.
Like I told you, like I work at this place. Just come right into this store. It like my employees will see it. Like the people that I work with will see it. Like there's cameras everywhere. It's like an actual place. Like I thought that was like a safe haven place. I was like, no, this is a functional business, and I'll exchange it there. And he's like, no, only in the alley. And then I was like, oh, this is weird. And then like the next guy was the same thing. He's like, no, I'll meet in the alley. I'm like, all right, no, I'm not meeting in alleys of like Dollar General to do this transaction. Like, come on.
Yeah. These
I'm
people were
certainly not giving these people my address. That's not happening. So
yeah, I mean they were sketchy as hell, but listen, they had the cash.
If they have $500 and they have a flatbed, it's all yours, pal. So
let me tell you something.
That's a good deal. That's a good deal for 2-year-old furniture, though.
Yeah, like 4 or 5-year-old couches. But they let me tell you something. Crisp $100 bills, crisp. Like straight from the ATM, like the kind that are like, you ever have a crisp bill that's never been folded?
Yeah, it's kind of annoying because you can't even fold it right. Yeah. It kind of like, it doesn't because I like to really kind of fold them up a bunch and put them in a money clip, and those ones they barely go. You got to really slide them in there to try to get them in. So
still smells like new money, like those kind of bills.
Nice.
I was like, I said you did a tremendous job. I have to hand it to you. But now all day she's been down there redecorating, because it's not just put the couch. Now it's what table needs to go in here. What fucking decorative chair do I need to order to fill
things are going to get wild here now. She's got her decorating on. So things are going to get, especially with summer on the way. So
I did my part. I moved the couches around where they were wanted. And I did my part. And I sat down and enjoyed the new couch before the show. I watched the end of the Dodger A's game with my feet up. And now I'm getting excited because I got 4 days of this new couch, and the TLB, she already knows, get out of my way. This is an important 4 days. You gotta, even though there's really nothing I want to watch on this WrestleMania weekend, it's still an important 4 days. Like, it's weird. Like, it's WrestleMania weekend. There's not like one match I care about on any of these shows. But there we go. But,
good preview for our upcoming segments here. But I can't say I totally disagree. But we'll discuss that here in a little bit. But you got a job to do. You got a job to do for sure. So
that's right.
And do what we will this weekend as we watch as many things as we're going to do. But okay. I hate to do this, but I guess we got to talk wrestling at some point. Will Ospreay won the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Joe, did you see this? You hear about this? You've been reading about this?
Of course. We're going to have different opinions
New
on
Japan
this.
Pro Wrestling, April 4th.
We're going to have different opinions.
We are. We might even get into an argument. I'm going to throw down.
That's listen, I'm not that militant about my side on this one. I got to be honest. But we
New Japan apologist, you son of a bitch.
I may just say, you know what, Rich? I respect that take because I really don't have a ton of passion with my side of this. But I guess start at the top with the main event, right? We have a new IWGP World Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah, he's finally done it. He's won the title that's been around since March. So
right.
Congratulations.
This prestigious title, which has existed for 27 days. And look, you were more bullish on this than I was in terms of whether they would do the title switch. They did, so you have to hand it to Rich. He got it right. I gave it a 25% chance. I think you put much higher odds on it than that.
I think it was 70. I think it was 70 on Will. Yeah.
Yeah, so they did it. I think Kota Ibushi comes away from it. I don't know if coming away from it looking like a geek is how I would exactly phrase it, but he doesn't come out of this looking good. Let's talk about his reign first quickly. Not good.
No, I mean, like, I don't want to say all-time bad because obviously there's some real stinkers in the the annals of the heavyweight and the Intercontinental because we now Joe have to pretend that they're the same title in history. So
you can do that.
Let's bring up the old bad IC title. I'm not going to do that because it's stupid. Yeah. In the lineage of old heavyweight titles, I mean, obviously there's plenty of bad ones, but as far as like modern history, like modern New Japan of that, the post Okada era, or I mean, even going into the Kojima era and the Tanahashi era. I mean, this is an all-time stinker, I think. I mean, there was just, and COVID or no COVID, it was not good at all. I mean, it was very weird. It was short. It was met with a lot of strange, I mean, the matches themselves, there were some matches that really did deliver, but in terms of like stories, in terms of everything that went around it, in terms of just in the midst of this time when he was champion, we get a brand new title, we get all this weirdness with unifying the titles, we get weirdness of unification matches and stuff, and then he comes out and he just loses it right away. I don't know what. Yeah, this is not a good title reign for a guy that I mean waited so long to get to this point, and so many people were ready for this to happen. And we're gonna look back on this one and just go like, oh yeah, he was the champion for like 3 months. That's strange.
Well, I mean, obviously Wrestle Kingdom was very good for Kota Ibushi. He beats Naito in a great match. He beats Jay White in a great match with a great
which we
story.
called, by the way, for people that don't forget that we called that.
Yeah, we did. I mean, so. He wins it, and that was all very good. And then, look, this wasn't all his fault. I didn't think like Kota Ibushi didn't have good performances during this title reign. Look, it's not his fault that Hiromu got injured again, and he had to wrestle El Desperado in unless you're a like New Japan hardcore who was into the idea of El Desperado being in such a big spot. Let's just call that what it was. That was a match that was dead on arrival. It didn't excite the ticket buying public. They did the best they could putting Despy in that spot, and I enjoyed it well enough, and I'm a Despy fan, and I'm glad he got a little bit of shine. But it's not Kota Ibushi's fault that Hiromu got bumped out of that match. It's not Kota Ibushi's fault that we had this weird booking leading up to this title unification where he's defending the Intercontinental title against Tetsuya Naito, which took a lot of the juice out of that match because it's just weird where he's defending the other title. That's not his fault. It's not his fault that we're still in COVID and there were clap crowds. It's not his fault that Sonata just was not very good at New Beginning in Hiroshima. So there were a lot of things that weren't Kota Ibushi's fault. And I think his performances were very good in this title reign. I thought his performance, and we're going to talk about the Ospreay match, I thought he was outside of that lawn dart spot, which just was that utter disaster. I thought Ibushi was very good in the title loss as well. A lot of things weren't his fault and were out of his hands. So, but at the end of the day, this was a messy title run. You had the unification nonsense that nobody likes, or most people don't like. You had he missed out on the Hiromu match. You had the weird Intercontinental defense against Knight. It's just a weird title run. I don't even know
if the best way to describe it. Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah. I don't know if it was as bad as it was weird. It was just from the beginning. It always felt uncomfortable. It always felt weird. He never quite held the belts right. Like almost literally didn't hold the belts right. He kept like dropping them or whatever, which is just like a perfect sort of symbolic thing. Is like, yeah, he just couldn't quite. The titles were just never really quite fit him. They were never quite there. And then I'm going to unify them. And oh, wait, I'm going to defend the IC title. Okay, now we're going to unify them. Oh, wait, now it's a new title. And yeah, like it's honestly been my problem with New Japan ever since they came back from the New Japan Cup during COVID. This company is weird as fuck, and I don't know why. Like, I don't know. They're so weird. They just do a lot of weird stuff now. I don't understand any of it. It's so weird.
And let's not forget the shitty angle with Will Ospreay and B. Priestley to set up this match,
which was completely unnecessary on all levels.
Which is not Kota Ibushi's fault. Like, there's a lot of things here out of his control. You know, he didn't make any of these booking decisions. He just has to go out there and wrestle, and he did. And it wasn't a well-booked title reign. They were unfortunate in some respects with COVID and injury. But it's just a weird title reign, which really peaked the night that he won the 2 titles. I mean, that's where it peaked. So it was a forgettable title run. And now we move on to Will Ospreay, who is the new champion. He wins the match 30 minutes and 13 seconds over Kota Ibushi. And I guess I'll go first. You want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
And what I thought was an excellent match. Shade below match of the year level. Can't call it match of the year level. I would go somewhere 4.25, 4.5. This is the classic couple of times a year where I go 4 1/3 because I can't decide. Like, I thought it was better than 4 1/4, not quite 4.5. And we're going to get that guy in the mentions that goes, well, actually, 1/3 is not the midpoint between 1/4 and 1/2. No one cares. No one cares, math nerd, that's not the midpoint between 1/4 and 1/2. People know the point I'm trying to make. But no, I thought it was a really good match outside of that lawn dart spot because I thought Will Ospreay was really awesome in the match. I mean, he has completely changed up his style of wrestling. He wrestles with a ferocity. He wrestles with an anger that fits the direction of his character and the story of the feud. Whether you like the story or not, he wrestled to that. He was stiff. He was aggressive. His shit came across nasty. And we've seen that with him as a heavyweight. He's not wrestling the same way he did as a junior. Now, every now and then he'll bust out some of his incredible athleticism. We saw it against Satoshi Kojima with some of the plunder spots they did where Will, is doing 450s through tables and he'll still do like some of the stuff against Zack Sabre Jr. where he's doing a lot of his, taking from the old junior playbook with some incredible sequences and athletic stuff. But in this match, he really just beat the living shit out of Kota Ibushi. And really, that's been the story of a lot of his heavyweight matches. The match he just, where he beat Shingo in the New Japan Cup, same way, where he took most of that match and really just took it to Shingo physically. I think the story here is not only establishing Will Ospreay at the championship level, but also establishing that he is a legitimate heavyweight who wrestles a heavyweight style. And I think the last couple of matches he's had has established that. So he was great. Ibushi, I thought was tremendous as well outside of the lawn dart spot, which is one of the ugliest spots you'll ever see, completely fell apart. But I thought he bumped like a madman. I thought his selling was tremendous. I mean, the story of this match was Will Ospreay physically dominating Kota Ibushi, and Kota Ibushi worked his ass off to get that over. I mean, writhing on the ground in pain and moaning and just this guy was just bigger and stronger and too tough for him. And Ibushi fit his role in this match really to perfection. And there were a couple of key spots. The running boot to the face by Ospreay, which knocked Ibushi out of the ring. I thought that was a great spot. They opened up with some mat work, which was like better than what you would think it would be with these two guys. And then look, and the big key for me, Ospreay wins clean. United Empire is a heel unit that gets heel heat, but they're not cheaters. And that is very important. We talked about when this stable was formed. If they're another cheating unit, we can't take that with Bullet Club already in the picture, and Suzuki Gun to some extent. But they're not. He won it clean. He won this fucking title clean in the middle in a great match. And look, it took me 2 days to watch this match because I wasn't looking forward to it. People know we have New Japan malaise and we're down on it. And, when I finally watched it, though, I felt a lot better about New Japan because the match was good and I really liked the post-match stuff. But I'm going to save that and let you talk about the match. Go ahead.
So I think everything that you said there is valid. And I think I have a lot of similar thoughts to you in that the work itself I thought was tremendous, other than the lawn dart spot. I like the Will. I like the way that Will is approaching his matches now. I like the brutality, like you said, the veracity that he has now. It's just totally different. It's you would have never believed watching this Will Ospreay and the Will Ospreay from 4 years ago, 3 years ago, hell, 2 years ago, you would never believe that this is the same guy. Because, I mean, the mass is obviously there. He's obviously built his body to be a heavyweight. But he also works a heavyweight, too. He'll still, occasionally, like you said, he'll do a flippy-do here or there. But it's all done in the context of a match a little bit more than just, hey, look at how athletic I am. Hey, look at what I can do. When he does the flip, it's that, hey, I have that, too. Like, I'm going to beat your ass. And then, oh, yeah, I can also flip and do this. And I'm way more athletic than you, too. And I like that part of his game is still there. But it's now done as like the real kind of ace card, the ace in the hole that he has is like, yeah, I can also still high fly and do all this sort of stuff too, but I don't need to. I can just beat your ass instead. So I like that. I like all of that. The problem though that I had is when the match was over, I didn't care. And I never in a million years thought that I would see what I thought the entire time as I'm watching it, a very good match between Will Ospreay and Kota Ibushi, two of my favorite wrestlers of this generation. Will Ospreay, a guy that we've been talking on this show since I don't know, maybe not since we started this show, but a guy that we have been talking about and we have been saying how much we love this guy and how we think he's going to be.
2014.
I mean, easily 2014 on. We've been talking about how this guy is going to be a star. It's undeniable. No matter what you say, no matter what, he's ruining the business, he's doing this. This guy is going to be a star. We've been doing that since 2014. We've been saying that. And believing it, not just doing it as a shtick, like straight up believing it and constantly hitting it over the head that this guy is going to be a star one of these days. Since all those times, Kota Ibushi, one of my favorite guys. They're going to have a really, really, really good match. It's going to be for the main title in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and Will Ospreay is going to finally prove us right and prove everything that he's done and all the hard work or whatever. And he's going to win the title and he's going to beat Kota Ibushi, and the 1, 2, 3 is going to hit, and I'm just going to go, yeah, all right. And that's where I was after this match. I don't know. The malaise has really just cast a shadow over New Japan for me right now. It is, I can't, and then it makes it worse is that the post match comes up and it's fucking Okada and Shingo, and I'm just thinking in my brain, there's no way in any universe you told me even a year ago that Will and Kota would have an incredible match for the main title. Will would win, and then Shingo and Okada, who are also these are like literally 4 of my top 10 favorite wrestlers, like going of this generation. All those guys are going to be in the ring challenging one another in this company in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and I'm just going to go, yeah, whatever. But that's where I'm at with this company, and I don't know why. And I don't. Hopefully, I can shake it out. Hopefully, I can get it going. But I just right now I can't. It's just, to me, the title win meant absolutely nothing because this title means absolutely nothing. I didn't feel that he really like the difference of him winning that title, the IWGP heavyweight title, the title that had been that lineage you can date back to X amount of years or whatever. That means so much more than winning this dumb, stupid title that they're still pretending has shared lineages or whatever. I don't care about him winning that title. I thought the build to getting him to this point has been pretty shitty and unnecessary and weird. And I'm not, again, we talked about it in the show, but just to clarify, the Will stuff, whatever. It doesn't bother me as much as it bothers other people. I don't care. We know about it. We've talked about it. We've addressed it many, many times. I'm not going to do that again. Go listen to that.
Yeah.
Thousands of other shows where we've addressed the Will Ospreay thing. I'm just talking about it in a vacuum right now, watching Will Ospreay, the wrestler, versus Kota Ibushi, the wrestler, and the build that happens in this company with those two guys. Even when in just that context, even in that vacuum, I think they've done a terrible job with Will in terms of like the build that he's had and the things. And I like the character. I like the United Empire. I like everything that they're doing there. But the B thing was just dumb. I just didn't like it. I just haven't really enjoyed the way that he's approached this character in the last few weeks and the build to this, which I did not think needed that much. I don't know. I'm right with you that I thought it was a tremendous match, but I couldn't shake the feeling that I just didn't care when it was over. And I was startled by that, really. I was really just kind of shocked that I didn't care when it was over.
Well, hold that thought, because what I was prepared to come on this show and say this week was New Japan for me at this point in time, and you basically just expressed the same thought, is a promotion where I know I'm going to get great matches, but I'm basically getting them in a vacuum because I really don't care about anything that's happening in the company. And that's kind of what you're expressing right now.
It just sucks because this was a company I
just saw this great match. Yeah. You're basically saying, all right, I just saw this great match, but I don't have any emotional attachment to this, and I don't really care about who wins or loses, but I saw a great match. And I really have felt the same way about everything that's been happening in New Japan basically since the COVID restart, with the exception of maybe Wrestle Kingdom or whatever, where I could really get into it. But it's really just a promotion I go to where I know I'm going to get great matches.
Right.
But then the post-match happened, and they did reel me back in to some extent. Am I all the way back in? I'm not. But I thought Will Ospreay's promo was fucking tremendous. He was so good in that. And listen, with his promos, like, he's very hit or miss. We all know that he lays some absolute fucking eggs, some total duds at times when it comes to promos, because it's never been his strength. But I do think there's times where people are way too hard on him when it comes to his promos. I think some of that is just the fact that people don't like him and it bleeds over into just criticizing everything he does. Some of it is some of his promos are legitimately bad. But there's times where he has like really great promos and he doesn't get credit for it. Or promos that are fine and people will dump on them like they're the worst thing they ever heard. And I don't think that's fair. This promo I thought was great. He had confidence, and you could tell that he was drawing from some real life frustration over all that shit we're not going to talk about, and probably just personal growth and accomplishment, that he's at the top of his field now. And I think he was feeding somewhat off of the people who are his detractors, and it really came through. And I thought that the promo had the right kind of heel energy for what they're trying to put across with this faction and with his character and with that title win. And then when he called out Okada, because that's important, he called out Okada. I do not understand the criticisms that people are like, well, why is Okada getting a title shot? Because the champion called him out. I mean, we've seen for years in New Japan where all you need to do to get a title shot is saunter on down to the ring. And we always make fun of that. It's funny how people can overlook that for like 10 years and now get mad. And that wasn't even the case here. He called him out.
Right. And I think there was an interesting thing, and I wanted to note this as well, is that I saw a lot of people saying, oh, it's so New Japan being, this professional company, and Okada shows up in a t-shirt and jeans or whatever. He didn't know that he was coming out. And I'm sure that
got called out.
And exactly. I think they thought about that. And I like that. That was where I was like, okay, this company still does know how to tell some stories. This company still does get it, because Okada can't come out in the fucking Rainmaker robe and his gear or whatever. He can't come out looking like $1 million. He's fucking packing his bags, ready to go. And then Will Ospreay, calls him out, and he goes, all right, well, fuck it, dude, I'll come out then. So I like that a little attention to detail, that he did not come out in his gear. He didn't come out, in full regalia, because he wasn't ready. He wasn't prepared to get called out. I like that.
Right. And then Shingo comes out and he's like, well, hold on a second. I beat this guy.
Right. And he came out in all his gear and was looking like fucking Shingo. That was the Last Dragon coming out. Yeah.
Yeah. Because he knew he was coming out. He's probably the guy who was planning on coming out. Like in kayfabe.
I always joke about the kayfabe, like the curtain where it's just 1,000 guys running to the curtain. Yeah. And Hiroki Goto gets in first. All right, here we go. It's just, I love it. They're just pushing and shoving their way to get through this curtain. And damn it, Goto came out first. Okay.
Yeah, but he comes out and he's like, well, wait a minute, I beat this guy, and me and you have the rivalry. I should be first in line, right? So I got that guy, that reeled me in. I got into that because, number one, it all makes sense. Of course, Ospreay wants another crack at Okada. He's now the champion. He's done everything except beat Okada clean one-on-one, because he beat him in the G1, but with the help of his boy, with Okan. So the one thing eating away at Ospreay now is I want to beat this motherfucker and definitively put him in the rear view. He beat me at Wrestle Kingdom. I want this guy. So I was like, that makes sense, and I'm into it. Shingo comes out. I'm into it. And here's the other thing. These are like the 3 best wrestlers on earth. How can I not be into this on some level? Okay? Will Ospreay, to me, probably since 2019, has been the best wrestler in the world. I think in 2019, he was so far ahead of everyone that I won't even consider another option. 2020, you can make arguments for other people, Go Shiozaki, Hiromu, whoever, I don't think it was as clear cut. And this year, I think he's been the best wrestler in the world so far. And here's the thing about this too. this guy's going to win Wrestler of the Year. He's going to clean up on the awards because, first of all, he's already ahead of everybody else to some extent. But now he holds this title, and he's got matches against Shingo and Okada in front of him. Then he's got a G1. So for people who hate Will Ospreay, you're really going to hate award season.
It's going to be a bad year. Yeah, if you hate Will, it might be time to find a new hobby this year because he ain't going away. So,
and a lot of people claim that they are, and that's fine. But it's like, in terms of giving up on New Japan, I guess we get into that later. But listen, this guy is set up perfectly to like clean up on that sort of shit. But yeah, so that reeled me back in to some extent because I think it's all logical. And these are great wrestlers. Look at the match Will Ospreay had with Okada at Wrestle Kingdom. It was incredible. Look at the matches he's had with Shingo. So to me, I'm thinking to myself watching this, all right, we just had this very weak title reign by Kota Ibushi, which we just talked about. We don't have to relitigate all that. We had this weird thing with Evil last year. This could be a title reign that like gets us back on track. Will it? I don't know. Do I trust New Japan right now? I don't. But could these next two matches get us back on track and get us where we need to go, set up the G1, set up Wrestle Kingdom? You know, the Okada match is going to be, I think we all think Will Ospreay is going to beat Shingo. So will the Okada match, which is going to take place in the Tokyo Dome, by the way. I know it's a fake dome.
I can't believe we have multiple stadium. We're going to talk about it here in a bit. Multiple stadium shows coming up over the next month.
I mean, they're going to have a rematch in the Tokyo Dome. That's going to have a ton of intrigue because right now that feels like a 50-50 match. I could see Ospreay getting his win back. I could see Okada beating him again, and then Okada becomes the big hurdle that Ospreay has to overcome. Now, if I'm telling that story, I wouldn't have had Ospreay beat him in the G1, even with the interference. I think that cuts into it a little. But listen, New Japan has been booked real weird the last year. And that's another little weird thing. Like, I know that was the impetus for the turn, but I don't know. To me, this all feels a little more exciting than the weird Kota Ibushi reign felt. And a lot of people are now in the title mix that I'm super into. So to me, I'm a little more optimistic about New Japan than I was before Will Ospreay won the title.
I think that's fair. No, I think that's fair because I think the thing with Kota is you never were quite sure what that next step was going to be. What story were they telling? I mean, the story they were telling is that he wanted to unify the titles, but they never, the way they told that story was just strange. Like you said, it didn't, he said, oh, I want to unify these titles, and then like nothing happened. And he was just carrying around both titles, and then he was defending one title, and then he was doing and that seemed to be the story of Kota Ibushi was I'm going to defend, and he did. I mean, he unified the titles eventually, but not in any of the ways that we thought he was going to. But it just felt like they never were quite sure what to do with Kota during this reign, and maybe now we know that it was all just a short-term little transitional reign to get to Will. And you're absolutely right. Now with Will, you can look at the roadmap and you can see, okay, he's got this match and then this match and this match. With that said, who the fuck knows? I mean, Okada might beat him at this dome thing and it goes right back to Okada, and then who knows? But at least right now you see the roadmap for at least a month or two. Whereas Kota Ibushi, you had no idea what the next step was going to be with Kota Ibushi. It was so weird and so strange. And again, like you said, that's not really his fault, and maybe it's not New Japan's fault either, because maybe they had the plans of the Hiroma match, and that was going to be a big deal, and that was going to be a big moment, and they just didn't feel right doing that big moment or whatever against El Desperado or whatever. But I don't know. It just, I don't know. It's felt, the whole Ibushi reign just felt weird, and I'm ready to hopefully have a reign with Will Ospreay that just feels like they have a plan. They've got it. They have this roadmap. They're ready to book up through Wrestle Kingdom or whatever. You just hope they do that, because just for whatever reason, the Kota Ibushi reign just never felt like they were all the way in or all the way invested or whatever. It just, I don't know. It was just strange from the beginning. He won the titles, and from that, like literally immediately afterwards, it felt just very strange afterwards, and never quite felt right. Never quite felt like they had a direction.
Look, I get it, and I get your apprehension. Look, I'm not saying that like you're crazy for not being, because what this company has been really since they came back has not been great. And it's been, and the booking, if it, I'm cautiously optimistic is the best way to put it. So here's the way I look at it. The best wrestler in the world is the IWGP champion, and he's wrestling Shingo and Okada. I mean, just from a perspective of, I know I'm going to get two great matches, I'm going to be excited on some level. But I'm going to give them a chance to get back on track with the booking and the storytelling as well, while I'm watching what almost assuredly are going to be tremendous matches. I also think since, I think we have to defend the company a little bit from this perspective. I want your thought on this. They have really, COVID and clap crowds have really sucked the life out of a lot of important moments that would have probably come across a lot bigger under normal circumstances. You had the LIJ breakup and ensuing feud last summer. That would have been, there's a good chance that would have been red hot in front of crowds, right? But COVID sucked the life out of that. You had the Kota Ibushi story finally wrapping up at Wrestle Kingdom and his ensuing title reign, and COVID sucked the life out of that. You got Will Ospreay after all these years finally ascending to the top and winning the IWGP title, and COVID sucked the life out of that. And it's like, we have to acknowledge that a lot of this really is COVID in the clap crowds. It's not all of it. And you and I have been complaining about the other things for months and months. But a lot of these moments, a lot of these things that have happened in New Japan over the last year or so, very likely would have felt a lot bigger, and maybe that would have helped a lot of people's enthusiasm levels. But it's been a year of this, and these clap crowds are fucking terrible. I've been complaining about the clap crowds from day one. There were some people who were able to get into them early, but it feels like everyone has finally come around on it's just fucking weird, and it sucks the life out of everything. So from that perspective, the company's been, like everyone else, they're dealing with this COVID, and they've been unlucky too.
Well, yeah, but that would be my retort to that is they're not the only ones that this is affecting, and many other companies across the world have been able to create moments that have really sunk in, and moments that I've liked, and moments that have felt important and felt like they mattered or whatever. I'm not going to give New Japan the benefit of the doubt. I mean, they're dealing with the same COVID that everybody else is dealing with, and somehow Noah for an entire year was able to kind of hook me in. AEW's been able to hook me in many times. NXT we've talked about many times in matches and moments that have kind of hooked us in. New Japan's hooked us in at Wrestle Kingdom with that, and that was COVID clap crowds or whatever. So I don't know if I can completely let them off the hook. I don't think you're wrong in that sense, but I think that they've adjusted very poorly. And the drop-off from what New Japan was to what New Japan is with the clap crowds and the moments and all that sort of stuff, the drop-off has been huge. I don't know that I can 100% say that's because of COVID and the clap crowds or whatever. I think it's probably a very, very large part of it, maybe more than we all kind of want to admit. But I do think that there is something to be said that there are other companies out there that have made moments feel special and feel important. And I don't know that New Japan has really done that outside of Wrestle Kingdom.
And I'll say this. With all of that said, try to picture this company right now without United Empire. There is nothing.
Oh, they're fucking terrible. Yeah, I mean, I love the Hanare. We'll talk about him in a bit. I mean, I thought that was awesome. His debut. No, dude, if you took United Empire out of the mix and Will's not in the country or whatever, he's doing whatever.
Yeah.
This company's fucking dreadful. I'm probably not watching it, to be honest.
Anything with any juice in this company revolves around that unit, which has been a blowaway success to me. I mean, outside of Will, I mean, we are great Okan guys. We've been into the Okan. I thought Hanare's debut was excellent. Jeff Cobb has looked incredible. These guys have chemistry. If you would have told me a year ago that these were going to be four guys, I would have told you they're not going to have any chemistry. But they do. They have great chemistry. I didn't think Jeff Cobb was going to fit in. He fits like a fucking glove. I mean, all of the most exciting shit in this company since that unit has formed has been that unit. There is nothing else going on in this company, and that's a big problem. Because you look down card, and, Rich, I can't get into any of this shit. I mean, we're going to talk about some of these cards. But let's move this along, because we got to get to all the WrestleMania stuff, too. So you want to quickly go through this card? I got it. I already have it pulled up.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, let's do it.
So let's talk about – there's really not a ton to talk about anyway. So
no, we can get through it very quickly, I'd say.
We'll go backwards. So the semi-main event, Roppongi 3K, who never lost the titles in the ring, they win back the junior tag titles against Despy and Kanemaru. They have new theme music. Yo has some new gear.
That theme music's terrible.
You know what? I think it's going to grow on me. I think it's
so bad. You're wrong.
I think it's different enough that I'm going to like it. I found myself head bobbing to it after they won. I was like, all right, this is kind of cool. What's not cool is this tag team never fucking breaking up or doing anything different.
I know, just acting like nothing changed and Yo's back and Show's back. To me, it's almost in some way kind of a slap in the face of because I mean, the way I would have structured this match is that Yo's out there thinking he's old times, and fucking Desperado and Kanemaru just take his fucking knee out and pin him and just go, no, you're not ready to come back yet, man. You gotta come a little bit better than that. You gotta make sure, you gotta test that knee out a little bit. You gotta have some matches first before you're ready to come and beat us. And, that can lead to dissension between Sho and Yo, because Sho can say, hey, look, I'm ready, man. I was on my A game, but Yo, your knee, is it fully ready? Are you ready to come back? All that sort of stuff. No, they're just bouncing all over the ring, and they sell their knee a little bit, and then they end up winning anyway. It was just like, oh, all right. Like, I want him to struggle a little bit when he comes back. I don't want him just coming back and he's right in the same place that he was when he left. I mean, that's just a slap in the face to everything that, to me, it makes Desperado and Kanemaru look like, because it's not like they didn't attack his knee. I mean, that's all the match was about, was those dudes fucking destroying his knee. And in the end, it just didn't matter. And I don't know, that to me, it left me with a kind of a sour taste.
For decades in Japan and in any other promotion, Yo takes the fall in that match. But modern New Japan they've ignored that. The tradition in Japan has been a guy comes back from injury, he loses his first match. And I'm talking about major stars, Hall of Famers. Come back from injury, you lose your first match. It's just the way it goes, because they tell the story that you're talking about. You're not 100%, you're not yourself, you're getting into ring shape. But modern New Japan doesn't follow that script. They've got new music, new gear, but it's still not enough for me. I'm tired of this team. The match was fine. I mean, I didn't have a problem with the match. I feel like they have wrestled this team a million times. They probably haven't wrestled them as many times as I think, but my perception is these two teams have faced each other 79 times in the past 3. I'm tired of it. And I don't know, what do you want me to say? It was an okay match. Yo should have lost. He won. Roppongi 3K, because they want to sell their pervert books and their fucking photo books. They're never going to break them up, and they're never going to do anything with them. So that, it's as long as people are buying their t-shirts and buying their porn books, then they're not going to make a move here, unfortunately. Tanahashi and Kojima defeat Bad Luck Fale and Jay White. I don't know. They did a cool pose at the end when they won.
I kind of like this match a little bit. I thought this was...
Oh, you liked it? Okay, well, then you talk about it.
This is a little bit better than I thought. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't good. I mean, I don't want to say it was good, but I thought Kojima and Tanahashi were a good little team. I kind of like these guys. I kind of hope this thing sticks around for a little bit between these two guys. I could see there's a nice little chemistry there. There's a nice little... And Kojima he's throwing the arm all over the place. He's throwing those lariats all over the place. I kind of liked it. I mean, no, it wasn't good. And Bad Luck Fale is fucking horrendous. He's just terrible. But I thought Kojima and Tanahashi were pretty fun in this match. And yeah, the pose was cool. So I just kind of hope I see this team more. I like this team. I could definitely get used to Kojima and Tanahashi.
It'll never happen, but I would keep them together and book them all the way to a title shot, which they would then lose. That would be a nice story. These two guys channel in the past.
Yeah,
I'd have them beat all the undercard teams, but then lose in their championship attempt. And then that's the end of the little story, right? But New Japan's never going to do that. They never do anything interesting like that.
Yeah, right. That's an interesting, good story. So they're not going to do that.
So they're not going to do that. And we've been saying this about the tag teams for years and years and years. So the surprise man for United Empire was Aaron Hanare, no longer Toa Hanare. Cool new look. When the camera panned on him, I didn't recognize him. I was like, is this a Japanese guy that jumped from another company that I don't recognize right now? Because they didn't say his name at first. And then when he took the sunglasses off, I was like, oh yeah, that's Toa Hanare. But look, he looks tremendous. He looks like a badass. He carries himself well. We all been begging for them to push this guy, and they're going to. He got the pin on Sonata. He has like a fireman's carry takeover. Fucking, what do you want to call it? The fucking
kind of a Death Valley driver type thing too. Yeah, I don't know what it. Yeah, Joe and Rich describe moves is usually not a good segment, so we'll just
What's Cena call his? The
FU or no, the attitude adjustment. Sorry,
attitude adjustment.
I went Thugonomics. I went Dr. Thugonomics style. But yes, the attitude adjustment. So
yeah, and he pins Sonata. So look, we talked about it a little bit. I think he's a good fit. It wasn't the most exciting X because it's the guy that most people thought it was going to be. He tried to fool everybody by posting fake pictures on Twitter and whatnot, and he did fool some people.
People. Well, I think it's going to be Hidari. No, he said he's in Australia. Okay, well then, yeah, he said he's in. Okay, well then, it clearly can't be because nobody would ever lie on Twitter. Yes, wrestlers. Can we please realize that these men are professional liars? Please, can we just try to not have Twitter be gospel? And when somebody
Taught to
tweets,
lie.
I'm stuck in Japan, I can't get into Japan, maybe not say, oh, well, then he's stuck in Japan. I mean, maybe he's lying for the purposes of a professional wrestling angle.
He said he went home after the last tour and was quarantining in New Zealand.
Right.
Well, good on him for,
I love that people can still work people in 2021. It's fantastic. But, man, it's just, the people that just, oh, my God, no, he said he's not there. Well, okay, if the wrestler said that, then I believe, I unilaterally believe every single pro wrestler and everything they say. Okay, thank you. So, on Twitter. Smart on him. The people that are using Twitter as a promotional tool, those wrestlers fucking get it. So many wrestlers don't get it and are absolute goddamn geeks on Twitter, and some people get it to make themselves get over and use it positively. Aaron Henare used it positively. Good for him.
Goto, Okada, Ishii, and Yano with Yoshihashi 10-man tag against Togo, Evil, Kenta, Ishimori, and Yujiro. I have nothing to say.
I was going to say, Joe, the floor is yours on that match. And the next one, too. If you take it away, Joe, tell me all about the next one.
Dokai and Taichi and Zack Sabre Jr. defeat Jado, Tamatanga, and Tamaloa, but the big story here is the Iron Fingers taken away by Sugabayashi or whatever that guy's name is. So we're going to have a ladder match for the Iron Fingers coming up. So they at least did an angle in that match. And the 10-man tag, I guess, sets up a 6-man title defense. But yeah, this was not this is like the worst Sakura Genesis ever. Invasion attack, whatever you want to call it. There's nothing on it. It's a one-match show. I mean, it's all about the main event. Junior title match was okay. And then it was just a bunch of tags. And I guess you had the Henare debut too. But this was more like a third-string Destruction and Bipu kind of show where it's like the third worst. It's the worst of the three, like New Beginning and wherever the fuck. And it's like the worst. That's what this felt like. It's just there's nothing going on the undercard. And
or like, the one that gets main evented by the IC title of your double shot. Your like you said, your destructions or your power struggles, or it's like the one where the IC title gets defended, then the next night the world heavyweight title gets defended, and there's just a little bit more juice to that second show than the first one. But this is. They're easy watches because you pretty much can turn your brain off for about 95% of them. So I guess that's cool. I suppose. But the Henare, that was cool. I guess I'm excited about that. So.
All right, so the big matches on the tour, which start on the 10th, I will throw the big matches at you, and we'll give some pithy thoughts because they look. The Korakuen shows look better than usual. I will say that. I will say this Korakuen show on the 13th. Check out this semi-main event for this show. We've got Toru Yano and Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Dick Togo and Gato.
Oh, God.
That's your semi-main event.
Dick Togo and Gato.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
There's some people that are going to say,
is it 2021 or is it 1994?
They're going to say, that's cool. Dick Togo was great. Listen. Listen to me and listen good. Okay? And this is not revisionist history. I said when Dick Togo came back in 2018 or whatever it was, 2017, 2018, that he was not the same anymore. I was saying that then, and it was unpopular, okay? He has not been good. And listen, he had the great match against Harada last year in Noah, okay? But people think they're getting Dick Togo, like vintage Dick Togo. He's not that anymore, and he hardly ever wrestles. So, anyway, on the 15th in Korakuen Hall, we had the main event of that one. Okay, so we got two tags. Bushi and Naito versus Cobb and Okan. And Sonata and Shingo versus Henare and Ospreay. So that all makes sense because Shingo's the next challenger. And Henare has a singles match with Sonata. And Naito has a singles match with Okan coming up. So those two matches will have some juice. Korakuen Hall on the 15th. Same thing. Tags between Empire and LIJ just with the partners swapped. And then, let's see. Oh, this company, let me tell you. Korakuen on the 18th.
Get into it.
Terrible radio.
As you're just with the least amount of enthusiasm ever reading these cards. It's incredible.
Same thing with the two tags on top with the partners mixed around. So you're getting a lot of Empire versus
Sounds
LIJ
awesome, yeah. Well, yeah, I guess.
Tags. But
LIJ,
here you go.
man.
Korakuen on the 19th.
Can I make a comment about LIJ as well? I mean, that unit has no juice right now. Am I alone in that? Just nothing.
No
I mean,
juice.
Shingo, but like, I kind of forget Shingo's even a part of them. And like, Naito comes on and you're like, oh, yeah, Naito. Like, It's I don't know what is going on
they're just
there.
well, they're just not doing anything with Naito now. I mean that but yeah. But anyway, the 19th. This is okay. How about this? Ishii versus Yujiro. Goto versus Taiji Ishimori.
That's the one that I'm supposed to get into. Is Ishii versus Yujiro?
Well, I'm giving you all three of them. There's three.
Okay. All right.
Goto versus Taiji Ishimori, and
Okay.
Yoshihashi versus Kenta in your main event. Obviously, setting up the 6-man title match that's happening.
There are some good wrestlers in those matches you listed, and there are also some wrestlers that are not good in those matches you listed.
All right, we can't get rich into it. Yeah. On the 20th, see if we get them into this one.
Let's see.
The next night is the never open weight 6-man titles with those same 6 men on opposite sides of the ring. No?
No.
Okay. All right. I think that might be good.
No, dude, honestly, no. I should preface that by saying Yoshihashi is incredible in never 6-mans. That's his Wrestle Kingdom main event, is any never open weight 6-man match. So actually, I will be into that because that dude is awesome. The crowd gets into it. He gets into it. His teammates get into it for him because they know he's a dork and there's nothing else that he really likes. Or he's never going to achieve anything like real, and this is it for him. So they kind of rally behind him, and I kind of enjoy that. So I'm into that one.
The 26th, Hiroshima Sun Plaza. You ready for this? Let's see if we can get rich into it.
Let's do it.
Bushi and Shingo versus Cobb and Ospreay. Third from the top. Sonata versus Aaron Hanare. Semi-main. And your main event, Tetsuya Naito versus the Great Okan.
Okay. All right. Man, Okan's going to beat his ass in the middle of the ring and pin him, isn't he?
I think Naito's getting his win.
Oh, you think?
Yeah.
I don't know.
He shouldn't, though.
He shouldn't.
Here's the thing.
Yeah, they're if they're going all in, if they're really doing it.
And who fucking cares? Naito can't be hurt.
Right. Man, that's
so then
tough.
if you're booking, Okan beats him again. And then when Okan wins the fucking never title or the whatever the fuck title, then Naito can maybe get his win back then and beat him for. You worry about that later. I'm not worried about Naito being hurt. I'm worried about getting new people over. That's a bigger concern to me. And Naito can get this guy over if he loses, but I think he's going to get his win back. Wrestling Satsuma no Kuni on the 28th in Kagoshima. These are back-to-back nights. The first show has the main event is for the junior tag titles. It is Roppongi 3K versus Kanemaru and Desu.
Oh, of course. Who else? Yeah.
I don't know how anyone on earth can be excited about that. I don't. Semi-main event, Rich. Big title match. Toru Yano defends the King of Pro Wrestling title against Evil. I'll let your silence speak to that. So the next night on the 29th, look, I think they've put effort into the tour. Next night on the 29th, it's the LIJ and Empire tag. Oh, no, it's not. Semi-main event, Naito and Shingo versus Okan and Ospreay. Who eats the fall? So that's a really good tag between LIJ.
Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, the thing with these shows is that if there wasn't 37 of them, this would be really good. Like there are like 3 or 4 really awesome shows in these 36 matches that you're mentioning here.
Main event, Hanare and Cobb against the reunited. What's the gimmick name for Tanahashi and Ibushi? Golden.
What were they? The fucking. Oh god, this is gonna be the worst because they're gonna have 1,000 people in our mention. In the freaking. Oh my god, what was that team called? Yeah, Golden Fuckers. We'll go with the Golden Fuckers. I'm sure that's what the name was.
Whatever their name is. Golden Aces.
Golden Aces, right? Golden Aces.
Golden Aces, yeah. Golden Aces. Tanahashi and Ibushi reuniting. Face Hanare and
it was Golden Star Ace. Remember the star was we had to copy and paste the star in all of our reviews to make sure we had it right. So
whatever. Bailey and Sasha had a gimmick name for their team that I didn't even know until they broke up. It's
the Boss in the Hug Connection. Are you talking about that one?
No, it wasn't. It was the Golden Rule or some shit like that. Golden, because the first time because they were number 1 in the PWI Tag 50 or so, I don't know, or something like that. No, they were number 2 to the fucking FTR. And they were in there by their gimmick name, and I thought at first it was Ibushi and Tanahashi, but it was actually Sasha Banks and It's Bailey. Did you find it or no?
The Golden Role Models.
Golden Role Model. I never heard that.
If you gave me 1,000, if you said, Rich, who are the golden role models? I think I would have listed 150 tag teams before I got to Sasha and Bayley.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would have found every combination of Goldust and somebody else. I would have found every combination of there no way in universe. Golden role models. Okay.
You're telling on yourself for not being a SmackDown.
I know, right?
Ball.
I know. I'm not a stan, as the kids would say.
No. Road to Dontaku. No, that's nothing. We are going to go to Wrestling Dontaku on the 3rd and the 4th. The show on the 3rd is Zack Sabre Jr. versus
only
Tonga
at
Loa.
May? We've only gotten to May?
Is May 3rd. This is the end of the tour.
Oh, Christ. Okay.
Zack Sabre Jr. versus Tonga Loa. Taichi versus Tama Tonga and an Iron Finger from Hell ladder match.
So I am into this, by the way.
Okay.
It should suck, but you take a match that I know is going to suck, and you add some wrinkles to it that make it not suck. So I'm into it. I'm into at least putting a story together. I'm into trying to something new. I'm fine with this match type. I'm okay with this.
And then Tanahashi versus Jay White for the Never title, which feels colder than ice.
Yeah, my God. Other than them staring at their abs and going, yeah, there's really nothing else to the build.
I mean, does anyone care?
No.
Okay, and then the next night, obviously, Despy defending against Yo. So I guess that's why another reason why Yo won. Basically, the junior titles are just a prop to set up, junior singles title matches at this point. And then the main event, of course, is Will Ospreay against Shingo. If you care about such things, and we rarely talk about COVID attendance, this show sold out in under 24 hours. Second night of Dontaku. Not the first night with Tanahashi and Jay White and the stronger undercard. But this one, with Will Ospreay versus Shingo and nothing on the undercard, sold out in, 18 hours or whatever. So, food for thought. I mean, look, I don't like talking COVID attendance. I think it's all fake. I think there's too many factors to digest it all. But it's getting harder and harder to ignore because it just never goes away. But we have a one-on-one comparison. These are shows back-to-back. This one sold out, the other hasn't. So, I don't know. I guess I'll just let that hang there.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't feel right positively talking about COVID attendance, and I don't feel right. We've mentioned that before. That's kind of been our stance. But yeah. It is important to note. It is something to note. But yeah, what it means, I don't know that I can... I don't know. I can confidently say, "Oh yeah, definitely," because who knows with these crowds? Who knows?
Well, it means to some extent people are into that match.
Right. At least
very quickly.
At its core, you can say that people are at least excited enough to purchase tickets when that has not been the case for some events over the last few months. Is probably the best, easiest thing you could say about it. So.
Which leads us to: do you buy the idea that people are canceling New Japan World in droves due to Will Ospreay?
Never happens. It never ever happens.
It never
ever happens. There was, I mentioned it in the Rumble Rewind. I think I did the Rumble Rewind series they did at voicewrestling.com/Patreon. There was, remember the time when Dana Bryan didn't come out? I think the 2015 Royal Rumble. He never came out, and everybody was pissed. And canceled WWE Network is the #1 trend on Twitter for like 3 days. And Dave writes in the Observer that WWE Network subscriptions rose over the course of like that because people were interested. Ooh, what's going on? What's going on with the WWE Network? Like, I can assure you, the Twitter backlash to that was an avalanche compared to the Twitter backlash on Will Ospreay in terms of numbers. Yeah,
I can assure you.
10,000 times bigger deal than this Will Ospreay thing. So I don't know. Yes, maybe the people in your bubble, 10 of them unsubscribed or whatever, but nothing that's significant enough to make New Japan go, oh my God, what have we done? No. Oh dear God. Like Sugabayashi isn't sitting there going, oh dear God, what have we done? We've ruined our company.
Well, here's the thing. I don't deny that. I'm sure there's some people canceling their subscriptions because there's people who fucking hate this man's guts.
Oh, of course, yeah. And when you say that, and this is the thing that always when you say, oh, it's not going to affect, people think, well, I canceled. Yes, I know you are one person. You know what I mean? You and my friend canceled. Okay, that's too. But like these idea that like you and people think that their cancellation is so much more outweighed over the majority, and it's like it's insignificant numbers every single time.
Listen, do I think a few dozen people have canceled due to Will Ospreay? Sure. Yes. Do I think maybe a couple hundred? Do I think a couple hundred people have possibly canceled? I do. But until you start getting into the thousands, It does not matter. Now, do I think that there have been people who have canceled because they're just sick of New Japan's bullshit? In the grander scheme, maybe Will Ospreay being part of that, yeah. But again, I don't think it's going to get to numbers that are meaningful. I just don't get, because it never does, and I don't get that impression. And I really think when it comes to the Will Ospreay stuff specifically, it's so much more amplified in the bubble we happen to be in. And I don't think it's significant numbers of fans, even in the West. Definitely not in Japan. They just sold his match out. But even in the West, I don't think it's the significant number of people that I think we all sometimes feel it is, but it really isn't. We're in that bubble where it's people that are going to complain about such things. There's a lot of people, even though no one really wants to hear this, that either don't give a fuck about any of this drama, either way, or, don't think the guy's a monster. So I don't think that people are going to be canceling. I think you have to be very careful extrapolating what you see from your carefully curated Twitter timeline and from, reading some Twitter threads to the greater. I just don't get the sense that it's going to be this avalanche of, and here's the thing. If you were going to cancel New Japan due to Will Ospreay, wouldn't you have done it by now? Like, what were you waiting for? He's a top guy. He's going to be a top guy for as long as he's there. Maybe you were waiting for him to win the title. Okay. But I think a lot of people that were going to lose interest in New Japan specifically for Will Ospreay have already lost interest. I mean, whatever impact Japan was going to feel, they felt it already. And it obviously wasn't enough to sway them on anything. So I don't see why the people who faced their last straw this weekend is going to make that much. I don't see it. It
never does. Yeah, it never does. And it applies to everything. It applies to restaurants reviews. It applies to you're always the negative reviews, the negative comments, the negative replies, the negative screaming, the negative trends or whatever. Those will always outweigh the silent majority who just kind of say, or like it and don't feel the need to go on and say, I like that match. I'm going to subscribe to New Japan World. You're way more apt to have a bunch of people saying, I hated that match. I'm unsubscribing. It's just a lot easier. And our society just kind of, it's geared more towards screaming about negativity versus, positive, any positive thoughts. You know it from the restaurant industry. I know it from, doing any sort of social media. Very rare. We have to, it's like pulling teeth to get people to do positive reviews, but you bet your ass if there's something that went slightly wrong at any of the stores or any of the restaurants or whatever, we're getting 1-star reviews up the wazoo. So yeah, it's just very rarely do you leave a restaurant and go, that was a good meal, I'm going to go home and review them onto it. But if it was a bad meal, oh boy, you're getting into that car and firing up Yelp or firing up Google Maps and telling people how terrible it was and all that sort of stuff. So support for the Voice Wrestling Flagship Podcast is brought to you by Manscaped, the best in below the waist grooming for men. Manscaped offers precision engineered tools for your family jewels. I should make a reference. It's not just for men. I'll tell you, even in my household, Manscaped is not just for the men. Everybody can use this thing. Anyway, they obsess over their technology developments to provide you the best tools for your grooming experience. Manscaped is trusted by over 2 million men and women and everybody worldwide. We have an exclusive offer for our listeners, 20% off plus free shipping with the code FLAGSHIP at manscaped.com. Again, not VOW, not voices, flagship at manscaped.com. Manscaped has created the best ball hair trimmer ever, the Lawnmower 3.0. It's their 3rd generation trimmer, and it features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to the advanced skin-safe technology. The Lawnmower 3.0 comes inside their brand new Perfect Package 3.0, which comes with everything you need to keep trimmed, cut-free, and smelling nice down there. You got the Crop Preserver, an anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer. You also have the Crop Reviver. You put those two together, and your balls will not sweat, smell, or stick anymore. Manscaped throws in 2 free gifts as well into the Perfect Package: a pair of high-performance Manscaped boxer briefs that'll keep your junk feeling fresh all day, as well as a travel bag to store all of your grooming goodies. So again, 20% off plus free shipping with the code FLAGSHIP at manscaped.com. Again, 20% off plus free shipping with the code FLAGSHIP at manscaped.com. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. All right. WrestleMania, Joe. Finally, here, WrestleMania weekend. 8 hours of audio on the Flagship and the Voice of Wrestling Podcast Network feed with myself and many other contributors to the Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network, doing 8 hours of previews about every single one of these shows. So I know them top to bottom. But Joe, you said you do not know them top to bottom. So do you want me to run through the shows here real quick and give you an idea?
Well, I know the WrestleMania card top to bottom.
You do. We'll get to WrestleMania, but you want to talk the indie show first, and then
you want to go through the indies? Okay,
let's go through the indies.
How do you want to handle this? Do you want me to a burial scale, or tell me?
Well, Joe, here's what we're gonna do here. Okay. Remember how we got in trouble a few years ago?
I'm fully prepared again.
We're doing it again. All right.
Okay.
Cue the music. All right. So you cannot hear this, but the classic Family Feud music is playing in the background. That 70s style Family Feud music. I was going to use that to shout out Mikey Falcone, but you stole my glory here. All right.
Richard Dawson.
The classic Richard Dawson days. So I am going to run down all of the cards for you really quickly. All right. And then I'm going to give you a selection of matches. And Joe, I want you to predict which of these matches take place on which show. Can you do that for me?
Oh my God, I don't even know the shows.
So if I said Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair, you would say WrestleMania, correct?
Right.
If I said Edith Surreal versus Lady Frost, you would say
the Ally Cats Real Girl Hot Shit.
There you go. Ding, ding, ding. You're 2 for 2 already. So there you go. All right. So these shows are... Well, we're not going to do this one because that's already done. No Peace Underground Fatalism. That's happening as we're recording this on Wednesday. You also have NXT TakeOver.
There's a Wednesday show?
There's Wednesday shows, yes. This one is already over. I think I saw some gifts earlier. NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver Night 1. That is just concluded as we were recording this. I have no idea what happened because we weren't watching this. But we're not counting those as official WrestleMania Weekend shows. Things really get started here. Thursday, April 8th. IWTV's Family Reunion Part 1. That is at noon. Jimmy Lloyd's D-Generation F. That is also at noon, part of the GCW Fight package as well, GCW Collective package, I should say. IWTV Family Reunion Part 2, that is at 3 p.m. So I hope you're taking copious notes here. I assume you are,
I'm writing all these down because I don't even know the shows. So.
You can also go to voiceofwrestling.com and find them pretty easily. The Acid Cup, Joe, GCW Acid Cup 3, that starts at 4 p.m., day 1 of the 2-day tournament. Then we have Crab Pro Wrestling, We Wrestle with Mania. That is at 6 p.m. We have Flophouse Wrestling Boozapalooza. That is also at 6 p.m. From the same location. Both Crab Pro Wrestling and Flophouse Wrestling are running a show from the same venue at the same time. Apparently at the same time. I don't know how it's going to work. But I don't know, Joe.
Are you making some of this shit up?
I am not making any of this up, Joe. This is all official WrestleMania Weekend stuff. I am fascinated by this, so I hope that somebody listening is going to this Crab Pro Wrestling show or Flophouse Wrestling's Boozapalooza, which has $10 all you can drink, by the way, at Boozapalooza, so we can see how this works and what this looks like. Anyway, sticking with Thursday, loaded day on Thursday. This is why we're doing the podcast
Wait,
today.
These are just Thursday
shows?
This
is just Thursday. That's why we couldn't record on Thursday, Joe. We got to be here for all these shows.
Does the game only apply to these Thursday shows?
No, Joe. All the WrestleMania Weekend shows.
Oh, for God's sake. Go ahead.
ICW No Holds Barred Volume 11, Then and Now. That is at 8 p.m. from 81 Bay Brewery on IWTV. Thankfully, this song, let me make sure the song repeats. Okay, it is going to repeat because it's going to be a while here. Josh Barnett's Bloodsport 6. That is at 8 p.m. as well on Thursday, one of the marquee events of WrestleMania Weekend. Coming back here at 8 p.m. on Thursday. Then you have NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver Night 2. That is also at 8 p.m. And Joe, that is not it. No Peace Underground Murder Mania at 11:59 on Thursday, getting right in under the gun. And it's an indie show, so I'm sure it will start at a prompt 11:59 and not Friday morning at like 1 a.m. or whatever. And guess what? For the Culture, also Thursday at 11:59 from the Cuban Club GCW Collective Package there. So, okay, you got those are Thursday, right?
Is there a handy place where I could see all of these shows?
Voicesofwrestling.com is a fantastic place to do that, yes. I can also... there's a spreadsheet. You want to send? I can send you a spreadsheet. That might be a little bit easier.
I wanted you to plug the site.
Oh,
I was setting you up there.
Voicesofwrestling.com. We have previews for all that stuff. If you actually need a spreadsheet, I can give it to you. So
I do. Please send
all
that
right,
over.
I'm going to put it in the chat room then for you.
This game is going to fucking stink. I don't know any of these.
I knew you were very unprepared this year, which I appreciate.
Okay, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Is this why you left me off of all the preview audio?
Exactly. Right.
I was very hurt by that.
I figured you didn't want to talk about any of these shows, and I think I'm correct in that assumption, correct?
I was hurt and insulted. I had a talk with my wife. I'm like, I don't know what happened. He's doing all this audio. I'm not invited to any of it. A listener asked me. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. I wasn't invited. I wasn't asked. You're setting up this dopey game.
All right, you see that spreadsheet in the chat room? I apologize, Joe. I should have told you, but
set up the dopey game.
I figure you had 8 hours to spend in some other way other than talking about these shows. Okay.
I had no couch all week, and I was left out of the WrestleMania.
So did you get that spreadsheet? If you go to show previews, that tab there, every one of the shows is there on their.
Which chat? Oh, our chat.
Our chat in the show. I can send it on Slack too.
Okay, yeah. I got it. The private chat where we bury all the subscribers.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I see you as an anonymous ferret in this Google sheet. So if you go to show previews, that tab there, you'll see them all right there in plain sight.
Show previews. Okay, got it.
Great. All right, got it.
Wow, do people really write all this stuff for our site?
Yeah, voicesofwrestling.com. It's all there. You would never know because none of these fucking companies can be bothered to retweet or promote their goddamn shows. But yeah, we did a lot of work this past week. So
look at the work these people did. Jeez.
Yeah, it's tremendous. Voicesofwrestling.com. It's amazing that we promote these shows for these people that can't be bothered to do it on their own. So yeah, it's fantastic. I'm not bitter. No, I'm not bitter. No, Joe. No, I'm not bitter at all. So.
I'll run through Friday here.
No, we're at Friday. We're at Friday, yes.
Jeez.
Okay, Friday, April 9th, we kick things off with Action Wrestling and Southern Underground Pros. Have fun, be sad. That is at 12 p.m. from 81 Bay Brewery, a part of the Independent Wrestling TV showcase of the Independents. Then we have the Ally Cats, Real Hot Girl Shit. That is at 12 p.m. from the Cuban Club, a part of the GCW Collective. Acid Cup, Day 2, GCW Acid Cup 3, Day 2, the conclusion of the tournament at 4 p.m. Then we have, Joe, I know you're anticipating this show, ICW No Holds Barred Pit Fighter X Battle of the Tough Guys Part 1 at 8 p.m. So there you go. You have Spring Break 5, but it's not Joey Janela's Spring Break because, of course, Ricky Shane Page has won the rights to Spring Break. So it's the RSP Ring Break, number 5. That's at 8 p.m. from the Cuban Club. GCW Rerun This Town. Do you want to go? Okay. Those aren't even on the sheet, Joe. Are you ready for this?
I'm looking at it.
This is not the real GCW. This is the other GCW. This is
GCW.
Fake GCW Generation Championship Wrestling. Joe, they are running shows all day Friday. 10 a.m. Best in Class with the Young Professor. 12 p.m. Pile Driver Pro. Once Upon a Time We Blew the Budget. 2 p.m. New Texas Pro. Texas When I Die. 4 p.m. Dallas Fort Worth All Pro versus the World. 8 p.m. GCW Run This Town. And 11:59 Ladies Night Out. Midnight in Tampa. So we combined all those together since it was too hard to kind of do those separately. So anyway, back to the normal schedule on Friday. Guava Mania Zawa Live from 8:30 p.m. from the Pegasus Lounge, the very famous Pegasus Lounge, of course. ICW No Holds Barred Pit Fighter X Battle of the Tough Guys Part 2, Joe, at 11:59.
I don't know what any of this is. What do we even...
Violence X Suffering Lucid Dream, 11:59 from the Cuban Club. On Friday, yeah,
okay,
WrestleMania Weekend.
Friday. What the fuck is Guava Mania? What is it? What is it, and why is it happening?
Saturday, April 10th, Effie's Big Gay Brunch kicks us off at 11 a.m. Then we move over to 12 p.m. here, Tony Deppin's Beer House. Then 3 p.m., Alex Colon Produce Show, Planet Death. That is part of the GCW Collective package as well. Beyond Wrestling gets in the mix here with Time Capsule at 4 p.m. Unsanctioned.
I would like a time capsule to about 2014 when it comes to these indie shows. Okay, that's what I would like.
Unsanctioned
Put me in a
Pro.
fucking time machine to 2016 and send me to the Eddie Dean Ranch.
You want to be at the Eddie Dean's Ranch, yeah, watching Will Ospreay.
I don't have to watch any of this shit.
Unsanctioned Pro, Fueled by Spite, 7 p.m. from the Cuban Club. Joe, No Holds Barred, ICW, they're back again with Volume 12, Farewell to the Pawn Shop.
How many of these ICW No Holds Barred shows are on this fucking weekend?
No Peace Underground for their third show of the weekend as well at 11:59 with Shallow Graves. And of course, World Wrestling Entertainment brings their fare to WrestleMania Weekend as well with WrestleMania, Joe. That is at 8 p.m. Night 1 on Saturday. And then on Sunday, WrestleMania 37, Night 2, 8 p.m. Eastern, running all alone on Sunday, April 11th. Okay, are you ready to play the game now?
I can't believe I was all excited about sitting on my couch and watching this fucking garbage.
You might want to call those transients and see if you can get your couch back, your old couch back. Because soling your new couch with these terrible shows is going to be terrible. So
this is a complete list. How come I only see Family Reunion 1 and Family Reunion 2, and then Tony Deppin's fucking Bear House, or however the fell it. Why can't you just spell it Beer House? Why do we have to get cute? But those are the only IWTV shows? 3 of them?
No. So some of them I put the company, but there's some that, like, the IWTV shows are going to be Family Reunion.
Oh, I see, the action and stuff. Okay,
Right. But there's a bunch of other ones like action wrestling that and stuff that Have Fun Be Sad is on IWTV.
Okay, I have to tell you, I am going to be locked in on IWTV for most of this.
Yes, anything that says the 4465 Gandy Boulevard, that's 81 Bay Brewery, that is all the IWTV stuff. All the Cuban Club stuff is GCW, and then the other shit is the other shit. So
yeah, I think that from what I know of the shows, which is very little, the IWTV stuff looks the most interesting. But anyway, let me fail miserably at this game. What do you got for me?
Okay. All right, one sec. We went offline there for a second. All right, we're back. All right. I think we're back and ready to go. Okay. Are you ready for the game? I'm going to give you a match.
What do I have to do? I have to tell you what show.
So again, I'm going to say, Ally Cats versus, or no, I don't want to give that away. That's a part of the game. Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair, and you will say WrestleMania. Or if I say Raquel Gonzalez and Io Shirai, you would then say NXT TakeOver.
Right, I got it. Do I get credit for getting the one right that we tested?
Actually, that is on my list, so I am going to give you that one. What was it? It was Edith Surreal and Lady Frost for the Ally Cats Real Hot Girl shit. So, Joe, you are 1 for 20. Let's go. All right.
Holy shit. All right, let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, I'm going to put these in a random order if I can. Okay. Dom Guarini versus Kevin Koo.
Okay.
Violence is Forever explodes.
They do. And I know this is not on Have Fun Be Sad because they're wrestling a tag match against FinJuice on that show.
Correct. Very astute.
So
you know more than you think.
I think, and I don't think it's going to be, now obviously they're at Gandy Boulevard because they're IWTV guys. I don't think it's Tony Deppin's produce show. He's a little wackier. So it's going to either be Family Reunion 1 or 2. I feel like that's a big match for the Family Reunion style shows. I'm going to say Family Reunion Part 2.
Good guess, but it is indeed ICW No Holds Barred Pit Fighter X Battle of the Tough Guys Part 1. So you are...
I talked you through my strategy and it was so off.
I liked it. It was good. You know what I'm actually going to do? In the midst of that...
You like my train of thought there, though.
I do, and in the midst of that, you actually got one correct, because on our list is Violence is Forever, Kevin Koo and Dom Guarini versus FinJuice. From Action Wrestling and Southern Underground Pros Have Fun Be Sad. So you're 2-1, so not bad.
Okay, excellent. Let's go. I have more confidence.
Yeah, you're good. You're on the board. You're feeling okay. Gringo Loco, Black Toros, and Arez versus Laredo Kid, Dragon Bane, and Aramis. Sounds like a good little match there. Some good wrestlers in there, right?
Number one, that sounds awesome. There's only one show that could possibly be on, and that's Spring Break 5.
There it is. Look at this. Ding, ding, ding. 3 for 1. See, WrestleMania Weekend. You're good.
And the last two matches really aren't that bad.
No, they're not. Okay.
I would watch both of those matches.
All right, well, I got to get you back on track here then. Chuckles the Clown versus Stung Marshall.
What the fuck? Okay, that's got to be...
Now, for the record, I do want to state that what I'm going to do here for you, Joe, because this is a tough game. Do your guess here. Do your guess here first, and then I will mention something. I'm going to change the game a little bit to make things a little easier.
It's got to be... I don't want it to be easy. It's got to be either fake GCW... You know what? I don't know what Guava Mania is, but that sounds like something that would be on a show called Guava Mania. I'm going to go with Guava Mania 1.
So your instincts were right. It was a GCW We Run This Town, so...
All right.
So
I'll take the...
I was going to make it easier by giving you all the We Run This Towns as one, but do you want to be able to guess Ladies Night Out? You want all of them as one. So if you get fake GCW rights, that counts for New Texas Pro, Texas When I Die, and Ladies Night Out, and Dallas Fort Worth All Pro versus the World.
I don't have them on the sheet, and I'm not writing them down.
That's fine.
So
okay, so all of them have now been applied, which will make things a little easier, but this will still be tough. Don't worry. So, all right. So you are now 3 for 2 on the game. All right, let's move to Jacob Fatu versus Low-Key.
Jacob Fatu versus Low-Key. I'd like to watch that.
That's not a bad little match, huh?
It's not a bad little match. I will say Spring Break 5.
It is a part of fake GCW, actually. GCW run this town. It's actually the Dallas-Fort Worth All-Pro versus the World, which is a pretty damn good-looking card on paper, believe it or not. So
there's no way to watch those shows.
I don't believe so. People have rumored that they're going to be on YouTube, but it's one of those things that they're like, yeah, I think I saw in an Instagram comment. I'm like, I can't go with that. These promoters need to do a better job to tell me that these things are going to be on. So I don't.
Where are the matches I can bury? I mean, that's what I really would like to do here. These are good matches.
Some are good, but some are going to be pretty bad, including Su Yung versus G Raver. Su Yung versus G Raver, Joe.
God. Well, hopefully that's made up and is not happening.
Hey, it is happening,
but unfortunately, I think I know the answer to this. I think this is happening at the Acid Cup Day 1.
No, it is happening at No Peace Underground Shallow Graves. In fact, it maybe has already happened as of this recording. So,
well, good. Then I never have to watch it.
I don't think you'll ever have to watch that. So there you go.
Yeah.
That is that one. All right. We have a big-ass motherfucking Elimination Invitational Scramble with Schwartzy, Anakin Murphy, Peter B. Beautiful, Vladimir Koloff, Christian Rose, Jordan Dye, Chi Guzman, Mikey, Johnny Butabi, Solomon Stowe, and Arthur McMurray. Big-ass motherfucking Elimination Invitational Scramble, Joe. It's hilarious. It's a scramble with a funny name.
Hold on a second. Did you say Vladimir Koloff?
Vladimir Koloff, not Kozlov.
No. You said Vladimir Koloff, correct?
Yes.
Like the Ivan Koloff protege on the Indies from the 90s? Is that the same man?
Potentially. I don't know. I'm not sure. I didn't know that was a thing. I thought that was just a fake name. Is that a guy that we might actually know?
1993 ECW, of course.
Interesting. I don't know. I guess now you're a little bit more interested in this big-ass motherfucking Elimination Invitational Scramble. It might be, because I think Peter B. Beautiful is an old-time indie guy as well.
I am not more interested. That's incorrect.
Okay, all right.
But that man hasn't wrestled since the 90s. I can't imagine it's him. That's got to be a fake GCW.
That is Flophouse Wrestling's Boozapalooza, the show that's taking place at the same time in the same location as another show. So, $10 all you can drink, though, which seems like a pretty solid deal, no matter what. So, unfortunately, you're starting to fall off here a little bit. Let's get you back on track. I think the good matches you seem to know a little bit more than the bad matches. Yeah. So let's give you one here. Leah Moriarty versus Leo Rush.
Spring Break 5.
No, GCW for the Culture, actually. For that.
I don't even see that on the sheet. I would have said that. That was a layup.
Yeah, well, it's all right.
All right.
It's not an easy game, you know. You get in your own head. You were cocky there for a little bit. You're talking about the good matches, and now you're what are you? 5 for 3. Things are 3 for 5.
I would like to watch that match.
That does sound like a good one.
Unfortunately, nobody else wants to watch that match because our ticket sales are dire for that show.
Well, I mean, ideally, not putting a show that speaks about the inequities of people of color and stuffing that show at 11:59 on a Thursday maybe not the best idea. But hey, I'm not booking the weekend. I'll stay out of it. So, seems like a good spot for that. Jordan Grace versus the Ally Cat, Joe.
Well, that has
big time matchup, huge matchup.
Yeah, that has to be the Ally Cats. Real hot girl shit. In fact, that's the main event of the Alley Cats. Real hot girl shit.
You think so?
Yes.
You're wrong. That is from one of the fake GCW show, Ladies Night Out, for Jordan Grace versus the Ally Cat.
Well, I thought Jordan Grace was...
She's working one show the entire weekend, only the fake GCW show. So
how'd that even happen? That's right. The Ally Cats wrestling the teenager in the main event of the Ally Cat.
Well, do you want to go ahead? Because you can actually get on the board here. Ally Cat versus Billy Starks in Ally.
That is the main event.
There you go.
Of real hot girl shit.
Yes.
The Ally Cats versus Billy Starks. Two of my favorite wrestlers,
Two of your all-time favorites.
Those are two of my favorites.
Yeah, nothing you like.
They're so good.
Yeah,
I can't wait for that.
They're great. Yeah, I cannot wait to have a 16-year-old wrestle in the main event of a show called Real Hot Girl Shit.
Where there's also a battle royal which is centered around guys' dicks showing through their
no. Jazz is now in that battle royal, so it's not about dicks anymore, Joe. All right,
it's Jazz Sweatpant Battle Royal.
Yeah, well, it was, but now it's Jazz is in it. So
it's a match about dick prints.
Tank versus one called Manders.
That has to be IWTV in some way. No one else is booking Tank. I will say Tony Deppin's Beer House.
Congratulations. Nice job. Tony Deppin's
Well, that's the
Beer
kind of
House.
wacky match that Tony Deppin would book.
He's a weird guy. Yeah, he's a weird guy. He's booking some fun,
Yeah.
interesting matches here.
Right.
So, yeah, good for him.
All right.
Renee Michelle.
Quote-unquote Tony Deppin.
Yes.
Quote-unquote Tony Deppin would book. Right, okay.
Renee Michelle versus Missa Kate. Renee Michelle, of course, the famous wife of Drake that he just would not fuck. Remember the great storyline of...
Oh, that's her, huh?
Yes. What an incredible story that was. Little did we know that would, what that would...
That's not the real hot girl shit. I don't remember that on there. I'm going to say that's a fake GCW.
It is indeed a fake GCW. I don't actually know which one because I think it's a ladies' night out, but I could be.
What am I up there? I'm doing well.
You are now at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 correct, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 incorrect. So
I just want a winning record.
you're almost
Let's
at
do this.
500 here. All right, let's see if we can get this going here for you. Gino Medina versus Rhett Titus in a Pure Rules match.
What the fuck? Gino Medina and Rhett Titus in
In a Pure Rules match, yes, yeah.
That's like Ring of Honor's not running. Gino Medina doesn't work for Ring of Honor. I don't think Rhett Titus has taken a non-Ring of Honor booking in 20 years. Shit. That sounds like something that would be on one of these off-brand shows. So I am going to go with Guava Mania Night 2.
Your prediction, your guess there is Guava Mania Night 2. Unfortunately, it is Crab Pro Wrestling's We Wrestle with Mania, so...
All right.
Sorry,
Crab
so
Pro
you are now
Wrestling.
2 under 500, so... See if we can get you back on track.
Crab.
Crab Pro Wrestling, We Wrestle
If
with
you
Mania,
say so.
yes. All caps with a crab, and their logo is indeed a crab. They're from Maryland. Why they're running WrestleMania Weekend, I don't know. But, all right, so let's move on to this match here. Neil Diamond Cutter versus Jeff King.
Jeff King played third base for the Pirates in '89.
Yeah, and I'd have to imagine this is the same one, so...
It's got to be. They should have done Jeff King versus Vladimir Koloff.
A battle of 1992, yeah.
Fake GCW.
I'm sorry, it is ICW No Holds Barred. Farewell to the Pawn Shop. So, I got you 3 under 500.
I say farewell to this weekend. How about farewell to this weekend? How about that?
Alex Colon versus Masada, one of your other favorites there in Masada, all caps.
Well, that's got to be Cologne's produce gimmick, the Planet Death.
Incorrect. That is No Peace Underground, Shallow Graves. So,
Can I just say No Peace Underground for any of them? Do I have to? There's like 100 of them.
I would say
No,
moving forward, that would not be a good idea. If looking at the rest of the sheet is correct.
It's the ICW No Holds Barred, where for some reason it's every.
Okay. It's not the worst guess moving forward, but probably not the most successful of your future guesses.
All right, let's just move it. I obviously am not finishing with my winning record.
Well, no, that's not because you're 6. So what are you? You're 6 and 10 right now.
9 or 6 and 10.
6 and 10. 6 and 10 with 5 more to go. So there's still a chance for you to get on the board here. So okay,
I got to run the board here.
you got to run the you got to run the board to get a winning record. And
All right.
I'm looking at this list. I don't think it's happening, but we'll see here. The rejects: John Wayne Murdoch, Reed Bentley, and Akira. Well, it's not actually Akira now because he has COVID, so I don't know who it is. Here versus New Jack and the Carnage Crew. Luke and DeVito are coming, Joe.
I'll say that's on Planet Death.
Oh, it is the ICW No Holds Barred. I was just giving you trying to give you the easy run there, but all right. AJ Gray versus Daniel Garcia. You've grown tired of this game. Joe,
AJ Gray versus
Daniel Garcia, yeah. It's tough. Both men are working like 11 times this weekend, so. We need an answer, Joe.
AJ Gray versus Daniel Garcia.
Correct.
Family Reunion 1.
No. Violence and Suffering, Lucid Dream. All right, so we'll go quickly because there's no way of you finishing above 500 now. Myron Reed versus Izzy James versus Max Heights versus Fuego del Sol.
You know, I just saw a show poster for this. I think I saw a show poster for this.
Okay.
The Lucid Dream VXS.
No, I'm sorry. It is one of the fake GCW We Run This Town shows. So I was really disappointed. You've really fallen off here, Joe. You got cocky there. You're talking about these good matches, and I gave you some other shit. What about Deonna Purrazzo versus Roxy? Now think about this. This I think you can get to. Think about another Impact Wrestling talent we've talked about, right? One and only booking this weekend. I'm not talking about Roxy.
See, here's the problem. I don't remember what fucking show that she was on. So I know where you're going with this. This the Jordan Grace show, but I can't remember what the hell that was. So I'm gonna have to just take another L here.
GCW, We Run This Town, the fake GCW. So, all right, one more here, or two more actually. Atticus Cogar versus Masada. Atticus Cogar versus Masada.
Right. One of these has to be Planet Death. So I'm gonna once again go with Planet Death.
Don't. I'm gonna help you here. Do not do Planet Death. Atticus Cogar versus Masada. Yes.
What? Who wants to watch that? It not Planet Fatalism. No Peace Underground.
No Peace Underground. Fatalism. Not a bad guess. But instead, it is Spring Break 5. Spring Break 5 will be there. So in the lineage of fucking Marty Jannetty and great Sasuke, it is Atticus Cogar and Masada. And now our final match here. Remy versus Axton Ray versus Gustavo.
I don't know who these people are.
I don't either. So
Gustavo. I don't know. I'm going to go with Guava Mania Night 2.
Oh, great guess, but it is unfortunately a GCW fake GCW show. So, Joe, final results not good for WrestleMania weekend. You it's 16 incorrect answers, 6 correct answers. You failed miserably at the WrestleMania weekend game. So,
well, looking at this lineup,
better luck next year. Yeah, so there you go.
I think we're all losers looking at this lineup. So
yeah, I'm fading out the Family Feud music. I mean, that is the state of WrestleMania weekend. It is something else.
Well, Kevin Gill says it's going to be the greatest collection of independent wrestling.
I saw that tweet. I mean, there's a way to put over the weekend and say, hey, despite all the problems and all the shit we're going to go out there, we're going to try our best and give you a weekend of entertainment. Like, that's fine. No one's going to rag on you for saying that. No one's going to say, hey, look, we're going to try our best this weekend. We're going to put our best foot forward, and it's going to be an entertaining weekend. No one's going to bury you for that. But everybody's going to bury you for calling this the best WrestleMania weekend of all time. You just can't do that.
No, because it's undoubtedly the worst.
Correct.
On paper. Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. So, as far as those shows that we've mentioned, is there any that has you somewhat mildly interested, or even like the name? I mean, you said IWTV. You're probably going to check out most of the.
That'll get most of my attention.
Yeah.
First of all, I don't even know how much of this is airing or what's not airing, but I will tell you that the family reunion show in New York was very good. So I will try to watch as much of those two as I can. For the Culture is a good lineup. Spring Break, you got to watch it for the banter. And I'm sure there's some good stuff on it.
I don't know if I'm watching it for the banter, but I guess you have to. So.
I guess Bloodsport.
Bloodsport, I think, is going to be good. I will say that Lucid Dream, that VXS, if you actually look at the card for that's a Joe Lanza card. I think you'll like that card if you look at it.
Well, give it to me.
Yeah, so let me give you the Lucid Dream. I'm going to get voiceswrestling.com fired up here. Let me get you real sick. So that show, I'm trying to, as I was doing these, I was trying to think, okay, what would Joe like of these? And the ones that you mentioned, I think the family reunions, I think will be very good. The Acid Cup, I will say, the Acid Cup, they have Dragon Bane, KTB, Laredo Kid, Braden Lee, Tony Deppen, Cole Radrick, Colby Carino, who's actually added a ton of mass. It's pretty crazy to see Colby Carino now. Calvin Tankman. Arez versus Aramis is going to be a first-round matchup in the Acid Cup, so that should be pretty good. AJ Gray, Nate Webb, Lee Moriarty versus Treehouse Lee, and Jordan Oliver versus Edith Surreal. So that I think that Cuban the Acid Cup might have you a little interested. I mean,
that has some really good first-round matches on paper. There's also some people in that are vastly overrated that I have no interest in watching wrestle. But I think that there was some matches in there that sound good, and naturally there's going to be some matches later on in the tournament that end up being fun matchups as well. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that sounds really good on paper. I agree.
The one the Have Fun Be Sad Action Wrestling and Southern Underground Pro. I mean, that one you definitely got to check out for not only because of Kevin Koo and Dom Greeny versus Finjuice, but some other stuff as well. O'Shea Edwards versus John Davis, Eric Royal versus Daniel Makabe, AJ Gray versus JD Drake, who I'm looking at GIFs right now, and he's absolutely brutalizing Darby Allin on Dynamite, so that looks pretty cool. Martin Reed versus AC Mack, Adam Priest versus Matt Mikowski, so some pretty good stuff on that show. So I think you'll enjoy that. You want me to read the Spring Break? Because you said you have to watch Spring Break for the banter, right?
All right, yeah, well, let me hear it. If it's atrocious, maybe I'll blow it off. Go ahead.
Special appearance by Virgil. We're still doing Virgil jokes in 2021. So
okay,
that's
hilarious.
Yeah, that's great. Fuck money. Yeah. Okay. Effie versus Gregory Iron.
Yeah, no interest whatsoever. Sounds horrendous.
What about if it's for control of Effie's Big Gay Brunch versus being a bitch for a day?
No, nobody cares. I can't imagine anyone gives a flying. That sounds awful. That sounds like the stipulation makes it worse.
Yes, I'm not joking. That is literally the stipulation. It's control of Effie's Big Gay Brunch versus being a bitch for a day.
Oh, well, that's hilarious. Hilarious banter.
You grab your belly.
Great stuff.
That's all you can do. Rich Swann versus Lee Moriarty to at least get us back on track here a little bit. The match that we did mention earlier, Gringo Loco, Black Taurus, Arez versus the Laredo Kid, Dragon Bane, and Aramis. So hopefully that will rule, and they just give them fucking 20 minutes to just go do cool stuff. Starboy Charlie versus Billy Starks. What do you think of young people wrestling?
Let's put the teenagers against each other. 1 year after speaking out, let's put the teenagers in there against each other on the sleazy fucking indie show. That sounds like a great idea. Good gimmick, guys. Congratulations.
Leo Rush versus Jordan Oliver. Yeah, I'm sure you're marking your calendar for that one. You're a big Jordan Oliver fan.
Well, I mean, it's just a waste of Leo Rush because Jordan Oliver, he tries hard.
That is a great way to put it. Atticus Kogar versus Masada, as we mentioned. That is a close the blinds, like never, not even peek through the blinds, not put headphones on so you don't even hear it type match. No interest
whatsoever.
Close
the blinds, call the cops, get them out of your yard. Yeah, just awful.
Get these transients out of your yard. Were those the guys that came and picked up your... Did they look like Atticus Kogar and Masada or no?
They could have been family members, yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's good to know.
They were more country people. They were like country people.
Okay. So a little more one called Manders versus Atticus Kogar.
Not those kind of country people. Like.
Okay. I got you.
Yeah, you got one. You're picking up what I'm laying down.
I got you.
You got it. Yeah.
That sort of country. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Dental problems, those kind of things.
Right.
It's
Joey Janela versus Chris Dickinson. And then Ricky Shane Page versus Nick Gage, the big blow off to the.
Well, yeah. Well, that's the biggest match of the weekend from a storytelling perspective and all. That's been highly anticipated.
Some big, a little bit of nervousness as far as Nick Gage's what shape he's in. This is the only booking he has the entire weekend. He's even tweeting out about how his legs fucked up. So God only knows what this is going to be.
Well, look, it's probably going to be terrible, but it doesn't matter. I think it'll have good heat. That card's better than you led me on to believe. I don't love it, but there's some good stuff on there.
Trying to find some other ones here. This Dallas Fort Worth All Pro versus the World. You're not gonna be able to watch that one anyway, so I'll just skip it. There's no point in mentioning that one. So, do you want me to read you one of these Guava Mania shows so you can see what's on this thing?
Yeah. What is that even? What is?
Okay, so Zawa is a little bit like they're kind of Midwest. They're kind of the the bad on purpose spiritual successor of 01 USA, which is exactly what 01 USA needed to be. Was more bad on purpose.
Sounds great.
Yeah, so you have Hartenbauer versus Lieutenant Dan. Remember Hartenbauer from Dreamwave Wrestling at all? No. Country Air versus Controversial Inc. Malice and Wonderland versus the Skimahorns.
I've heard enough.
Just move on. What about Brubaker versus Christian Rose?
No, I don't care.
That's not working for you? Okay.
Christian Rose, huh? There's a name for me.
Yeah, there we go.
I cannot. I just cannot. There's no way to watch that shit anywhere.
I don't think so, yeah. Or I think that maybe, I don't. who knows or who cares?
How many people are going to buy tickets to that? 10?
I cannot wait to see what the attendance for this weekend is going to be for stuff like this. Like a show like that. I mean, with everything else running this weekend and with it being fucking a pandemic and it being in Florida and people not flying in, presumably from out of the country or whatever, I have no idea what these attendances are going to look like for some of these shows. But based off tweets, Joe, not good. It's what my guess is. My prediction, my official lock it in prediction, lock of the week, the weekend is attendance not good. So we'll see
how are our affiliate deals doing?
Not good.
Okay. Okay, great.
Not good. No, people don't want to buy this shit because it's all garbage and it's terrible. Violence and Suffering, Lucid Dream on the GCW Collective package. VoicesWrestling.com/fight, by the way, if you want to get that one. This is the show that I put over. I think you're going to like this one. All right, how about this? Jack Evans versus Tony Deppen.
Okay.
Brian Cage versus Chris Dickinson.
Thumbs up.
Too Cold Scorpio versus Eli Everfly.
I mean, I wouldn't have wasted Too Cold Scorpio on that guy, but all right.
AJ Gray versus Daniel Garcia. We mentioned that a little bit earlier.
Yeah. That sounds. Yeah. That's fine.
I like this. Get some two guys out of the way. Jordan Oliver versus Jimmy Lloyd.
Oh yeah, you could just go get a snack, take a shit. You know, you don't have to sit through that.
Dr. Q versus JTG.
I mean, if you want to get your yucks in, who will Dr. Q be? It's not going to be Chris Brooks this time around.
I don't think it's going to be Chris Brooks, no. So
okay.
Wait, excuse me. Oh my God, shoot trash. Leo Rush versus Loki in your main event. So that is at 11:59. That's not bad.
All right, that show sounds good.
Yeah, that one's pretty good. I'm scrolling. Well, that's about it for that. Was there any other show you had a mild interest in? I can read you the card to see if it gets you going.
Let me take a look. I think we hit on all this deathmatch stuff I have no use for. No, not interested in anything else. I'll go in blind to a lot of them. I guess the main streaming ones are IWTV is showing a bunch of shit, right? And then the collective package.
Right. I can give you, I'll give everybody a rundown of what's going to be on both. Because that's the easiest thing to do, maybe, is just pick one of these and just kind of stick with it the whole weekend. You know what I mean? Or
I think IWTV will be better than the collective.
I agree. Yeah. The fact that IWTV is going to be there has me a little bit hopeful for the weekend because they're booking somewhat interesting shows. It's not the same fucking 7 people you've seen over and over and over again, and it looks like they're actually trying to make this pretty unique. So what you're going to get from IWTV is you're going to get, No Peace Underground Fatalism, but that already aired.
The collective does have the Acid Cup and For the Culture.
It's not terrible. Yeah,
Sport.
I wouldn't totally.
Maybe I'm being too hard on the collective because the bad stuff is bad.
The bad is really bad. So IWTV has this, and by the way, this is all for like $10 a month. By the way, so you can just subscribe this weekend right now. And have all this stuff at one price. Family Reunion Part 1, Family Reunion Part 2. Then the ICW shows are going to be there. No Holds Barred, Volume 11, Then and Now. No Peace Underground, Murder Mania is going to be on that one. Action Wrestling and Sup, the You Have Fun, Be Sad. I'll be there. No Holds Barred Pit Fighter, which have you ever seen those? They're in like an octagon and stuff. It's a little.
I'm not interested.
It doesn't quite do a ton for me. ICW again, as we mentioned there. The Tony Deppen's Beer House will be on IWTV as well, and then Beyond Wrestling's Time Capsule will also be there. So
maybe Collective is better now that I look at the two lines.
So the Collective has higher highs. I'd say IWTV, the baseline of IWTV is going to be better, but the Collective I think has higher highs because you start off Thursday with Jimmy Lloyd's Generation F, which you couldn't pay me to watch that show. Then you get the Acid Cup, which is good. Then you get Josh Barnett's Bloodsport, which is good. Then you get For the Culture, which is good. So the last half of the day from 4 p.m. until whenever. On Friday morning is pretty damn good for the collective. So maybe a good time to switch over.
Is For the Culture good? Because For the Culture, their lineups have been good in the past, but is this good? Read it to me.
Oh, this one I think is pretty good. Here, let me just
because I don't know the lineup. I'm just assuming, and I shouldn't. Maybe it fucking stinks. Let me hear the lineup.
No, I think it's pretty good. Yeah, I think it's actually a damn good lineup. It just sucks that it's on fucking Thursday at midnight. But For the Culture is Rich Swann versus Too Cold Scorpio.
See, now that's what you do with Too Cold.
Yes.
You don't put him in there.
You put a legend
Eli
in there
Everfly.
with a really, really good wrestler. Yeah. As opposed to
Eli Everfly? Why did someone book that? Anyway, go ahead.
Lee Moriarty versus Leo Rush.
That's great. Yeah.
Brian Keith versus Darius Lockhart.
I'm not familiar with those guys, so I can't comment.
They're pretty good. They're pretty solid. I think you'll come away liking those guys.
I know Lockhart. I don't know the other.
Yeah. Keith's pretty solid. AJ Gray versus JTG.
I don't know. Does nothing for me.
Women's tag here, you got Brooke Valentine and Willow Nightingale versus Faya and Flava, Kira Hogan and Tasha Steelz.
Oh, that's going to be atrocious. Fire and Flava stinks.
They're terrible. Yeah.
And Willow Nightingale is no good. That's going to be awful. Yeah, no interest whatsoever.
Myron Reed versus Ken Broadway versus Calvin Takeman versus Andy Brown.
And now we're just cramming people on. It's a fucking scramble. I guess, just give me 3 stars, I guess. What else?
Trey Lamar versus Eli Knight.
I don't know Eli Knight, I don't think.
Yeah, I very, very vaguely remember a little bit of him. PB Smooth versus John Davis.
That could be a fucking 2 big guys fucking
I could
slamming
see
into
that.
each other.
Slapping and slamming into each other. I could see that.
Yeah, I'll be interested in
I need
that.
Corey
Okay,
Chavis to run in from the crowd too and get the Dark City Fight Club back again. But then you have a scramble match between a bunch of dudes. Mysterious Q, D-Rogue, Alpha Zoe, Rob Martyr, Troy Hollywood, and AC Mack.
The top of that card, AC Mack is in a scramble.
I feel really bad for AC Mack. Yeah, that dude is way too good to be in a fucking 7-man scramble, but there you go.
Why doesn't AC Mack wrestle? Well, I guess you don't want to do him against AJ Gray because that's a match that they might want to do in another play. All right, I don't know. I wouldn't have him in a scramble, though. Anyway, that is a good card. The top of that card is excellent. Obviously, it has some trash, but you're not going to have a card that doesn't have any trash. No, that's a good show. I will be into that.
That's not bad. So that's that. So keeping up with the collective, the next day then on Friday, April 9th, you have Alley Cat's Real Hot Girl Shit. Acid Cup Day 2. That's at 4 p.m.
You'd have to strap me to the chair, drug me, and threaten to end my life to watch that Ally Cat Hot Girl thing. Awful. Terrible.
Would you like me to read the card for you?
No, I know that card. It's atrocious.
It's not great.
Awful. Go ahead and read the card.
All right, let's do it. So, all right, you got Edith Surreal versus Lady Frost, as we mentioned. Allison Kay versus... Well, okay, so I got to update. I don't know who Allison Kay is going to face, because Faye Jackson was supposed to wrestle. She has an elbow injury. She's retiring, so she's done. Devine versus Erica Lee.
I don't even know those people.
Brooke Valentine versus Willow Nightingale. Thick and whatever their name is explodes here in this match. So.
Yeah. Great.
Faye Jackson's Grace Sweatpants Battle Royal, the Dick Match,
Right,
Mysterious Q, Daniel Garcia, PB Smooth, JTG, Ricky Shane Page, and Jazz.
Well, Daniel Garcia, good thing he's getting booked in that instead of something else that night. Good thing.
Tasha Steelz versus Trish Adora. Holodead versus Dark Sheik, and the Ally Cat versus Billy Starks.
Yeah, Tasha Steelz and Trish Adora is the best match on that show.
Yeah, it's not good.
Ally Cat. Let me tell you something right now. The Ally Cat versus Billy Starks has a chance to have the funniest gifs on planet Earth. Like I'm looking forward.
Tell me you're not going to watch that with a ton of interest, because I am, just to see.
Well, what's it head to head with?
It is head to head, Joe, with Action Wrestling and Southern Underground Pros. Have fun.
Well, then there's no chance I'm watching the Ally Cat show.
Maybe you could switch over for the main event just to see or you could just watch the gifs later. So
no, the gifs are going to be great because people are going to gift that.
But with good comments, like unbelievable, right. As Alley Cat does a sunset flip that she falls over during. People are gonna go, whoa!
Right? Yeah. There's gonna be gifs of botches, but the caption's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be awful. That's an atrocious show. One good match. One match that'll be any good on that show. Anyway, that's WrestleMania weekend, everybody.
Get into it. So
there's some better stuff on there than I was expecting. A lot of bad stuff.
We were right. If you just want to admit it, 2 years ago we were right, but nobody wanted to believe us, and now.
Yeah, well, it's a lot worse now.
Yeah. And these people are bad at promoting their shows too, so it just adds it even more.
I mean, it's in the middle of a fucking pandemic with no foreign fans. What did they expect? I mean, it can't be unexpected that some of these shows are doing terribly.
No, not at all. I mean,
you have limited capacity WrestleMania, which cuts down the amount of people.
You're picking from a group of 25% of a normal WrestleMania, so whatever, 20,000 or whatever, at a baseline for WrestleMania when you usually have 80,000, 90,000 or whatever people coming in. No international fans, no fans for a takeover. That's obviously, in the Performance Center.
And a giant chunk of people who are afraid still to go to things.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Now, that doesn't explain the streams. You would think the streams would be up. Our anecdotal evidence is that the streams are going to be down because we haven't, through our affiliate deals, sold a lot of these packages.
We have not. No, we have not. So that might come a little bit as the day goes on, but
is it still down like 90% from New York in terms of our packages?
Yes. Yeah, I would say it's down.
We're talking huge numbers.
It's down huge from what it even was last year, because last year was pretty damn good for us. In terms
before
of
it all got wiped out.
Yeah, before it all obviously got wiped out and refunded and all that sort of stuff. I mean, it was pretty damn good in terms of that money, and that is minuscule difference between or minuscule amounts this year versus the other years.
The last numbers you gave me was more than a 90% drop.
Yes, I would say that has not. It's now a 85% drop or whatever if you want. So it is not. It's not going well. Yeah, either. But hey, you know what? Good on these people. Let's talk about. You want to talk about WrestleMania here real quick?
Yeah, we gotta do it.
Well, do you want to talk about Takeover? Yeah, do you want to do Takeover? So one of the shows has already happened as we're recording this. So I mean, I guess I'll spoil. Do you want spoilers or you want to?
No, I'll watch the Takeover.
Okay.
I'll watch the Takeover.
So we won't react to what happened on night one because we didn't see it. So.
Oh, let me ask you a question: is the Takeover's airing on Peacock?
So yes.
Is it also airing on WWE Network? Since I live in Australia.
Right. You and me, residents of Australia. I don't know. I think I would assume yes.
It's on USA though. But
so night one was, but night two is not.
Right. But night two will be on the network. But I'm wondering if night one is on exclusive to Peacock or also on the network for people like us who live in Australia.
Yes. I don't know that. I don't know the answer to that. But
I'm sure
an Australian resident, thanks to our friends at ExpressVPN, voiceswrestling.com/express.
Check right now. Well, I'm not in the room with the gimmick. Never mind. I'm not in the room with the VPN. But go ahead and plug the VPN, though. I talked over you.
Yes, voicesofwrestling.com/express. I mentioned it in the WrestleMania preview as well, but we talked about it last week. We have both tested it. It has worked. We are both, of course, very proud residents of Australia. I think you do the Australian, every time I talk to you now, you do the Australian football chant every single time, the Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, 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 so you're all in. Vegemite, you're a regular Vegemite eater at this point. I've run out of things I know about Australia. Davis Storm. You went and hung out with Davis Storm the other day.
Excellent wrestler.
Right. Kevin Chiat as well. You, Kevin Chiat, and Davis Storm all hung out, even though I think...
That'd be great. I would love to have dinner with Kevin Chiat and Davis Storm.
I think they live literally 17 hours from one another, but...
Yeah.
I remember one time I did, like your mom does with Texas. Like, I know somebody in, Dallas. And you're like, Mom, that's, very far away from me. That's not anywhere close. Like, I think one time we were, Kevin, I forget which part of the country he's from, but we were like, oh, hey, did you go to this show? And he's like, well, no, not exactly. It's like a 19-hour drive from where I live. And I'm like, oh, all right.
MCW and EPW are on opposite coasts. And
right, I forget which one he lives near, but I was like, oh, do you ever check out any of their shows? And he's like, well, in the nicest way. I'm like, not particularly, because it's literally 20 hours away from where I live.
It's like going from New York to California. It's a 3.5 hour flight.
It's like asking somebody in New York City, did you go to that BWG show this weekend? It's like, no, I didn't. It's in Los Angeles.
Well, why not? You're from America.
Right.
Yeah, you're from America. Yeah. What about Outback Jack? I know him from Australia.
Yeah.
Timey Kangaroo Down, his theme song.
Was Skinner technically from Australia, or was he?
No, he's from the fucking swamps of Florida.
Everglades. He was from the Everglades, right? Yeah.
It's Steve Kern. He's from Florida. What are you doing? He's from the swamps.
Do you know?
Good job out of you.
Do you know anything else about Australia?
The
Bushwhackers. Of course.
My wife watches Australian Love Island.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Is it good?
I don't know. Every time I walk in the room, someone's going, we need to have a chat. We need to have a chat. And they go off and have a chat. I don't know.
Nathan Jones. Nathan Jones, one of our other fellow residents, Nathan Jones. The best way to quit WWE ever. Do you remember the Nathan Jones story?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's incredible. Just they do a tour of Australia. He thinks this is shit and he wants to quit. He just fucking gets a free trip home and doesn't get back on the return flight. He just goes, fuck you guys.
Right. Tremendous.
Love it. Good for him.
Tremendous job out of him.
Madison Eagles, Robbie Eagles, all of our fellow countrymen as well.
Not really related, by the way.
Shazza McKenzie, who obviously loves us a lot.
Well, yeah, I mean, I blocked her, and then she asked people why she got blocked. There's no malice. I find her tweets annoying. Like, I don't have anything against her. I find it like well, when we block people, it's not necessarily because like we don't like you. It's just there could be a million different reasons we block you.
Mad Mikey Nichols, of course.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course, Mad Mikey Nichols. Slex, the business.
Slex, the business, yeah.
They're just naming wrestlers from Australia. Like,
Brendan Vink? Yeah. I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, Vink is Australian for sure. Yeah, but these are just wrestlers from Australia. This doesn't mean we know anything about Australia, right?
We know wrestlers from Australia.
Yeah, but I mean...
That's all I know about America, basically.
What about Paul Hogan? Paul Hogan from Australia.
Paul Hogan, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think Outback Jack is still kicking around somewhere. One of those promotions.
Unfortunately, judging by the Australian pro wrestlers Google search I just did, I don't think Outback Jack is.
He's not dead.
Is he not dead? Okay.
I don't think he's dead. I didn't hear about him dying.
Oh, he's not. 63 years old. He's still good.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Get him in there versus Cracker Jack. Battle of Jacks. Cracker Jack versus Outback Jack. Right? No? Not interested?
Nah, not going to do it for me. No.
Okay.
Well,
what about versus Caveman Ugg?
Speaking of.
No?
Oh, we're doing TakeOver. I was going to say, speaking of Australia and going right in the Rhea Ripley, but we're talking about TakeOver, so let's talk about TakeOver here real quick. So night one.
What about Peyton
Royce and Billy Kay? Yeah.
Outback Jack.
The Iconics.
Not Billy Kay.
Yeah.
Not Billy Kay. Forget her. Peyton Royce versus Outback Jack.
It's not bad.
Intergender. Progressive, Rich.
Yeah, he's got his knife too. You know,
he does come with a knife.
Get her out of the ring with a knife. You know what I mean? Kind of intimidate her at first until Joey Morella takes the knife away from him. Well, no, Joey's going to take the knife away from him.
Now you've made this problematic.
No, that's the heat, and then you know.
Oh, this is a great idea, Rich. A male wrestler chasing a female wrestler around with a knife. You think that's going to get over
Australia? I think it happens in Australia, though, right?
What are you saying about the fine people of Australia?
Well, our fine people. Yes, yeah, you're right.
They've handled COVID very well. They've got cheering crowds.
I know. I'm very jealous when I watch these fucking MCW shows, and there's a crowd of very happy fans all cheering and loving their life, and we're here watching this.
When they flush the toilet, the water goes the opposite direction.
Yeah, well, when we flush the toilet, Joe.
No, when they flush the toilet.
But we are residents of that place.
Oh, that's right. We live in Australia.
Yes.
The water goes in the opposite direction.
Which is very weird. I'm not quite used to it yet, but I will get used to it very soon. So
it's summer in January when you're
wild. Yeah.
in our new home.
Uh-huh.
It kind of throws you off too, right?
Express VPN, by the way. Express Voices of Wrestling.
How about Foster's beer?
Oh, I actually like Foster's beer. Yeah, as far as shitty beers go, I enjoy Foster's. You have nothing to add to that, but the giant can is pretty solid.
Giant can, right?
I was a big fan. Like, so in my younger drinking days, that was one of my favorites. Is because it came in the big can, so I thought it was funny. First off, everybody else has got their Miller Lite 40 ounces, and I come here with this big ass Foster's can, but it was good. It was good shit.
Yeah. What about that Opera House gimmick in Sydney?
Oh, the Sydney Opera House? Yeah. That is a that is a thing in Australia too. Yes.
Aborigines.
Yeah.
The Digamadoo, what's that fucking thing called?
The didgeridoo is what you're thinking of. Yeah.
Digamadoo? Didgeridoo?
The didgeridoo. Yeah, didgeridoo.
Yeah. It goes like that fucking thing.
Big ass fucking spiders everywhere too. It's wild. Yeah.
Really? There's big spiders over there?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, big bugs.
Isn't like
it's a weird island. Yeah, it's a weird island, man.
Isn't like 60% of it uninhabited?
I think so.
Isn't that the deal too?
Yeah, that.
It's just like fucking desert and shit. Isn't that the truth?
I believe that is the case. Yeah, it's just filled with weird bugs and shit. So. Yeah.
Do they have weird animosity with New Zealand? Like Americans and Canadians are like, we kind of like each other. I think
so. Yeah. And then there's the animosity with Britain too and stuff. Yeah, they got a lot of animosity with a lot of people. Like.
A lot going on, right?
Like not like we're throwing bombs at each other animosity, but just kind of like little jabs.
No. Like I said, the U.S.-Canada thing.
Yeah. We just throw little jabs at one another and stuff. Yeah.
We're like, poof, Canada, and they're like, poof, you have no health care, like that kind of thing. Like, does Australia and New Zealand throw those kind of barbs at each other? Like they're frenemies. Are they frenemies?
I actually don't know about the New Zealand Australia, but I know the Australia Brit. That's always kind of a they sent all their prisoners there many years ago type stuff, so it's always like they're low class. The Brits consider them low class and all that sort of stuff. So
still now, it was like 300 years ago.
I don't know. You're gonna have to ask our British contingent that are listening what they think of Australia these days. Maybe they'll shoot on them. So all right, we got 10 minutes here. We gotta do this. So we are, of course, residents of Australia now, and you can also be a resident of our great country of Australia. as well. Great continent, country and a continent all in one. Fantastic. Of Australia at voiceswrestling.com/express. Or you can be a resident of whatever nation you want to be a resident of. And whatever nation that is that still has the WWE Network, because it is glorious, it is great, and it is much better than fucking Peacock. So voiceswrestling.com/express. All right, night one of NXT. I'm not going to... Do we want to talk about it? Because it's already happened, and...
I mean...
I don't want to... I'm looking at the results here, but I know you're going to watch it later, so I don't want to fully spoil it.
What's the main event of night one?
Main event is Raquel Gonzalez versus Io Shirai.
Yeah. All right. When's the Jordan Devlin versus Escobar match?
That is night two, so that we'll get right into night two. I will say...
Let's talk about night two.
I will say that I just judging by Twitter, MSK, Grizzled Young Veterans, and Legado del Fantasma sounds like it was awesome. Based off
three-way
the
tag?
Yeah, three-way tag for the vacant tag team title. Sounds like it was fucking awesome. So
I think NXT is going to beat AEW this week.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, they're going to destroy them, I think.
I don't know about destroy, but I think they're going to beat them.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. All right, let's move to night two here. Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart versus The Way. Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. That's for the NXT tag team, women's tag team titles with Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart as your champions.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, they'll try to have the match of their lives, so we'll see.
Yeah, you can never say that Ember and Shotzi don't fucking really try. Sometimes it lands, and sometimes it doesn't. So we'll see with this one. Yeah, the ladder match, undisputed NXT Cruiserweight Championship, Jordan Devlin versus Santos Escobar.
It's probably going to be great.
The one thing I will say about this, and I mentioned it in the preview that we did as well, is I hate that WWE overdid ladder matches, because then you get a situation like this that is perfect for a ladder match, and you're not excited about a ladder match. Which is what happens when you do 24 of them in the prior year, is that a match that makes all the sense in the world on WrestleMania weekend to be for an undisputed championship, a disputed championship with an interim title, and all. It's the perfect time to do a ladder match. And it would work if they didn't do them 27 times over last year. But
right.
This is a semi-spoiler here, because they had a 6-man gauntlet match. So I'm going to spoil this. Do you mind?
Go ahead.
Johnny Gargano will be defending the North American Championship against our countrymate Bronson Reed. Yes. Get into it.
I thought it was a gauntlet match.
Well, no, he was in a gauntlet match on night one, and he won it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And then the winner faces... Yeah, gotcha.
Yes.
Okay.
So, yeah. And he...
I thought you were saying there was another gauntlet match, and I was very confused.
No.
Okay,
Just this one. But I'm glad that our countryman is going to make it, and I hope he can win the North American Championship here. All right.
Sure.
Yeah, Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly, unsanctioned match.
That's probably... Well, listen, I was going to say it's probably going to be great, but because it's unsanctioned, if they're going to do some walk-in brawl where they're throwing each other through gym equipment and shit, it's like... I don't know. I mean, on paper, it should be really good.
Yeah, you're right. Like, in a vacuum, it should be great, but you never know. If it was just a singles match, I would say yes.
Could be overindulgent fucking...
Yeah, it is Adam Cole and it is NXT. So, yeah, they could be out in the parking lot and yelling at one another, and a car runs them over or whatever. Who knows? It could get a lot of different ways. And then your presumed main event here for the NXT Championship, Finn Balor defending the title against Karrion Kross. Will Finn Balor fall and pray, Joe?
Yes, he will.
Okay, I think he will. Yes, he will.
Unfortunately, because he's been the best wrestler.
He's been fantastic, and they cannot wait to get the title off him and get it back to Karrion Kross so he can get hurt again, probably. So,
all right, so WrestleMania, we should do the. I think we should dust off the old 1-10 game.
Oh yeah, it's been a while since we did the 1-10. Yeah, let's do it. All right, night one. Yeah. Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair for the SmackDown Women's title.
I'm going to give that a 7.
I'm a 7 too. I like it a lot. Yeah. And what do you think about this theory as well? So Drew McIntyre has been chirping a lot about wanting to open WrestleMania, which is smart because he knows goddamn well when that ting, ting, ting hits, that crowd is going to go nuts because they haven't been in front of a wrestling show and they haven't been live at a wrestling thing in a while, and they're going to go absolutely fucking nuts for Drew McIntyre. He is so smart to want to be in that opener.
That's some good politicking.
Absolutely. He's been chirping about it. It works doubly, too, because WWE can say, hey, look, we main evented night one of WrestleMania with Sasha and Bianca. You get the exact result and the exact crowd reaction you want for Drew McIntyre. They should do that. And I think they're going to do it because they've been chirping about it, so we'll see. But anyway, Bianca and Sasha, I'm at a 7 as well. What about Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship?
They had a really good world title match in Impact a couple of years ago. This is obviously a bigger stage. Lashley has been pushed well. McIntyre has been pushed well. These are two guys who were booked well, which is rare for this company. With all of that said, it's still Bobby Lashley. No matter how many good matches he has, I still think of him as someone who's a little below average. Maybe that's unfair. I'm going to go 6.
Yeah, I'm probably about a 5. It's tough with the MVP thing. It's tough with the I just don't trust that they're not going to have, Cedric and all these and Shelton maybe come out or whatever. I think it'll be pretty good, but I also think there's a possibility that the bell rings, they do a little bit of back and forth, and Drew just beats him in like 5 minutes. You know what I mean? Like that's totally in my mind as well, which I don't think would be the worst idea, especially if it's the opener. But it's hard to get super, super excited when I have that in the back of my mind. All right, let's move on to the Bad Bunny and Damian Priest versus The Miz and John Morrison. Remember when we argued incessantly about the impact of a Bad Bunny? Well, now we can see it, the impact on WrestleMania. So, look,
Bad Bunny has taken it seriously. He looks like he's having fun. By all accounts, he's working hard. So good on him. Athletically, can he get in there and hang? I don't know. Shaq took it seriously and did a good job, and was a world-class athlete at one point. And he took a crazy bump, and he's still a good enough athlete to where that came across very well. If Bad Bunny can, do these choreographed spots they have for him, and he's at least taking it seriously. We know that because he's a fan and he likes it. So good on him. I guess I have some perverse interest in this just to see how it all works out. I don't know, a 5? I'll go 5.
Yeah, it's a little more than me. I'm probably at about a 3. I'm going to get bored of it pretty quickly. I think Morrison and Miz are pretty terrible and not funny and annoying.
They're so off-putting.
Yeah, it's really, the optics of it is just like hard to handle because they just come out and they're just dorks and they're jumping around and laugh. I just want it to end pretty much. Anytime they're on my screen, I just want it to go away.
What you're saying is it's go away heat.
I really just I don't want to see them get their ass kicked. I just want to see them go away forever and never come back. Is basically what I got there, which is not ideal for this. So I'm probably at about a 2 or a 3 with that one. The New Day defending their tag team titles against AJ Styles and Omos. This is one you kind of talked a little bit about earlier with my bookie. I'm at a 1. I couldn't possibly care less. So
who could possibly care about anything New Day does at this point? It's like Roppongi 3K. Who could possibly give a shit? I'll go 2. I have a little interest in seeing if Omos can be.
Oh, we got to see if he can work. Yeah, this is a big moment to see if Omos can work.
I'll bump it up to a 4 because of Omos.
Yeah, and you want to see if he can do something. Like, that Kofi and Xavier are just going to bounce off of him all over the place and make it look good. But you need to see if he can do anything, like literally anything, and that will be important.
He's probably going to have a terrible finish. I don't know.
Braun Strowman, the bullied underdog here, versus Shane McMahon in a steel cage match where nobody can enter and nobody can leave except for all the people that are going to enter and all the people that are going to leave, including Shane McMahon, who will definitely dive off of the steel cage onto a table on the outside. So
don't care.
You don't care about this bowling storyline? Joe,
it's
Shane
amazing,
McMahon called Braun Strowman stupid. You got to get into it. You got to be rooting for Braun Strowman to get this revenge.
They had Braun Strowman go on TV and complain on the microphone that he's been bullied all his life.
I've been bullied my whole life. He's 6'6", 375 pounds of pure fucking muscle. And if you think that's new, look at a picture of his dad. That's not new. Braun Strowman was a fucking monster when he was 10 years old. There's no doubt about it. He has never been bullied.
Much like the Big Show, and they botched him over the years, you should be able to count the number of losses this guy has had on one hand at this point in his career. It's just astounding to me how badly they've ruined this guy. So, I don't know. It's Shane McMahon dropping in for a WrestleMania. You're just waiting around for the stunt. You're waiting around for the stunt is what it is. I can't get into this. I'll say 3.
You think we're getting train noises here? How do they handle that? And I guess that's a question I should have asked at the top. I think you get the
train noises, and I think people might boo it.
So,
do you think these crowds are going to be jacked up for both nights because they're finally seeing live wrestling?
So I talked about this a little bit with Andrew in our mega preview. I think that the first few matches, they will be amped up. But then I think later, as the show goes on, they're going to say, wait a minute, this is terrible. This sucks.
But at the same time, it's limited attendance mania, and it's the most hardcore fans that they have and because they're risking COVID to see it.
Right, and that was, I guess, the retort that me and Andrew eventually got to. And I was going to say that we then realized, wait a minute, like the fans are going to go there to boo, Shane McMahon and boo, the Miz, or Drew McIntyre or whatever. Those fans aren't going because these fans have decided I am going to potentially risk my life and my family's life and everybody that I know's life to go to WrestleMania and go watch this show. Like, that's got to be people that are dyed-in-the-wool WWE fans. These cannot be your smart marquee type fans, right?
No, this is what I mean. These are going to be WWE hardcores. So they're going to be more accepting of all of this.
They will,
even if it's bad.
I do wonder, what blend of sound effects and things do we have versus them just letting the crowd be the crowd? Because I think there's going to be this sort of shock to the system when you have a 25% filled giant football stadium. They're going to have to sweeten a little bit, right? They're going to add some noise. You think? Or...
Shock the system.
Are you doing the pose? You're doing the pose right now, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm doing the guitar. I'm doing the air guitar. Because you said shock the system.
Yeah.
So. No, I agree. I think that I lost my train of thought because I was so consumed.
You're so amped up. Yeah. I got to imagine that they're still going to have some sweetened crowd noise. I think there's too much temptation to have the giant button that says boo and the giant button that says cheer, that they're not going to let this crowd not because they don't trust this crowd, which I guess there's a little bit of apprehension about that given all the stuff that they tried to do in the build here with Drew and with Daniel Bryan or whatever, but just the optics of a half-filled building, a big football stadium, which those aren't very loud in the first place. I don't know. I'm curious. That's going to be very strange to me as well.
Well, we know one thing. Seth Rollins will not be happy to be wrestling in front of those
these dumb fans. God damn it. We want to tell our stories. Let us tell our stories, you morons.
I want to tell my clean stories.
Right.
That's what he said to Ryan Satin, and it sounded just like that because that's what his voice sounds like. We want to tell our clean stories. And without the fans, we're able to tell our clean stories.
Retire tomorrow, dude. What are you fucking talking about? Fucking retire, Seth.
Idiot.
What are you talking about? Why are you a pro wrestler?
Howard. Yeah.
Jesus, just go be a bad actor then. Go be a B-level actor. A D-level actor.
Such a nerd. Absolute nerd. Just terrible.
They've won. The WWE has won the "our fans are stupid" thing. And then you have people, the people in the mentions. Yeah, you're right, Seth. Just enjoy it. Yeah.
You are right, Seth. We're dumb.
Yeah, just enjoy the show. Just enjoy the show.
Spoon feed us shit. We will love to eat it. Yes, that's how they've indoctrinated these dopey fans on top of it. That's who's going to be there, and that's why I think the shows are going to be hot because those are the kind of fans that are going to be there.
You're right. Yeah. I'm just curious if we're going to get the sound effects. Are we getting the choo choo? Are we getting you tapped out piped in at Roman Reigns? That has got me very curious. If
I don't think they're going to pipe anything in, but you might get the choo choo sound effect.
Oh god, night one: Cesaro versus Seth Rollins.
Seth is such a nerd that
zero.
I'll go 3.
Okay.
Could be a good match, so I'll go 3.
What about the tag team turmoil match to determine the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match on night 2?
Oh, God.
Lana and Naomi versus Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose versus the Riot Squad versus Natalya and Tamina. Tamina getting the WrestleMania payday. Thank God.
The thing is, one of these teams is going to wrestle twice at WrestleMania.
And I don't want to see any of them wrestle twice.
No, this is my first 0. How can you have any interest whatsoever in this?
Would you say Riot Squad probably your favorite here? Quote unquote favorite to emerge here?
Ruby Riot could, but I don't think so. I don't think they value Ruby Riot. So I think it wouldn't surprise me if they might be my last pick, honestly. They love this Tamina for some reason.
They do love Tamina, yeah. There's a good chance they pick. Oh, because they'll love the Tamina versus Nia Jax. Vince just fucking adores the big women facing each other thing. He loves it, so.
Do we need to get a babyface team in there against Baszler and Jax? Here's a better question. Do you know whether these teams are
faces or heels? I was going to say, I'm not... Joe, I don't know if I can answer if Natalya and Tamina are heels or babyfaces. So that
I really don't know either.
My response to you is, I don't know. All right, let's move on to night 2. Do we really have to do instant reactions after these shows?
You want to?
Do you?
I'm not doing nothing. Saturday and Sunday.
Your call. I wish I could guarantee that people were going to buy these fucking things.
You know what? I want to do them as an experiment to see if people subscribe.
Right. And if that doesn't happen, we are never doing a WWE one ever again. If fucking WrestleMania doesn't do it, we're done.
Double night, then why am I wasting my time?
This could be the last hurrah. I'm gonna get a bottle of champagne just in case nobody fucking buys this thing, so I can pour my champagne and never have to do a fucking instant reaction. Okay, instant reaction. VoiceOfWrestling.com, $10 tier, both night 1 and night 2 of WrestleMania. Could be the final hurrah as well. So if you do not buy this, if people don't subscribe, if we don't get big listeners, we're done with WWE instant reactions for quite a while. So
the last time we did a WWE instant reaction, I think we
lost. People are like, I'm so upset that you're wasting your time doing this. I am going to take away my $10. So
I think we gained 1 or 2 subscribers, and then just through the normal ebbs and flows, we lost a bunch. So it was actually a net negative.
Yes.
Like, I don't think people unsubscribed because we were doing it, but at the end of the day, it was still a net negative.
It did nothing to help the churn, Joe. The churn happened, and we did not stop the churn. So
no, and then we do an AEW pay-per-view, and we get like 100 new subscribers. It's just, crazy. Anyway.
So there it is. All right, night 1 and night 2 of WrestleMania, immediately following instant reaction, $10 tier, voicesofwrestling.com/Patreon. Could be the last hurrah. We'll see. If you guys buy it, we'll stick around. But if not, that's it for WWE. WWE instant reaction. We'll still do instant reactions, just not for these shit-ass WWE shows anymore.
Well, we should judge how many people are listening, too, because maybe the current subscribers would like us to do these things.
That's true. We'll check.
So we should check the number. Yeah. Right. Anyway, night 2.
Night 2. Tag Team Turmoil winners versus Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler with Reginald, 0, -20, -10,000. Who fucking cares?
Possibly care less. 0.
WWE United States Championship match, Riddle versus Sheamus. He's got birds coming out of his shoes now, Joe. Did you see that? He's got birds. Did you see the build for this on Raw? Yeah, I did, yeah.
Did you see the build for this match on Raw?
I did. I saw a clip
Sheamus did commentary at ringside for Riddle's match. You wouldn't believe it, Rich, but he attacked him.
Oh, my God.
Afterwards.
You thought he would just come down there and do commentary, and then he attacks this guy.
Raw, the Raw go home was like a... You know what this is now? You know how we say Raw is a parody of pro wrestling?
Right.
Okay, follow me here. It's not that anymore. Raw is now a parody of Raw. Like, Raw is a show about a pro wrestling show. But now it's a show about a show about a show about a pro wrestling show, and it's a parody of that show. Because this was the go-home build for WrestleMania on Raw. Sheamus on the commentary table attacking the man he's going to face at WrestleMania. How many times have you seen that? Partners trying to coexist.
Which they did like 3 times in this build alone of
in
WrestleMania.
This build of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
We had heels destroying a vehicle.
Classic Vince McMahon. Why? Okay, Joe, John Q fucking six-pack or whatever, John Q six-pack, why would I care that Bad Bunny's Bugatti got fucking destroyed?
Yeah, why are you mad about
Why
this?
am I mad that this asshole's $3.5 million car got destroyed? I don't care. I'm out driving to my fucking job where I gotta punch the damn clock. Why do I give a shit that this guy's Bugatti got ruined?
Vince loves destroyed vehicles.
Why would I care?
No, there's no reason to care. A destroyed vehicle. We had an opening 20-minute promo to build another match. They hit every checkbox.
They're so fucking washed. They're so washed. It's unbelievable.
They have no original ideas. They did everything that they've been doing for the last 20 years on this Raw to build to these WrestleMania matches. You can go right down the fucking list. It's just they're just they are creatively bankrupt. They are totally and completely creatively bankrupt. What's next?
Next is Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn with Logan Paul.
Yeah, I don't know why we got to muck it up with Logan Paul, but the thing is, Sami Zayn is just so not Sami Zayn anymore anyway. He just completely leans into the gimmick, and he's obviously banged up, and I think he's just more than happy to collect the money, and good on him. And I don't know. They'll find a way to make it interesting, though, so I'm going to say 5.
Yeah, those guys are too good to not make it interesting, and then obviously there's the Logan Paul thing. And the reason Logan Paul's in there, Joe, is so people can pretend that merely having a celebrity involved in WrestleMania will suddenly make millions of people go watch WWE on a regular basis, even though every single time, including with Bad Bunny, who's a way bigger star, I think, than Logan Paul, that ever ends up actually mattering. So, but we'll continue to do it every single time. So for the next...
Do you think Bad Bunny's more famous than Logan Paul?
Actually,
you know what? Don't even answer. Why are we even doing this to us? Don't even.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it because it's not going to matter because nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares.
That's on the record. I don't even want to.
Nobody cares about a celebrity tangentially being involved in wrestling. They're not going to suddenly start watching this shitty fucking crap just because somebody they have heard of is going to be on it. Like, that's just not how it works. Oh, Mike Tyson. No, Mike Tyson was the fucking baddest man on the planet when he came out for WrestleMania 14, and you thought he was going to whoop ass. That's why you watched it. Mr. T, one of the biggest stars in TV at the time, and he was whooping people's ass. That's why you watched it. You don't watch it because there's a guy that you've heard of. But we pretend every time. Oh,
I don't mind trying celebrities. I mean, but it's like,
but you got to use them in the right way. You can't just have them be there. Having Logan Paul be there. Well, what has Bad Bunny done?
He's gonna whip some ass.
Yeah, 1.7 million fucking viewers on Raw. So that's really fucking working great. So good for him. Joe, I know.
Yeah, for a guy where seriously though, for a guy where people will argue incessantly on Twitter and elsewhere over how famous and impactful this guy is, he's made no difference on the ratings. I mean, that's just, the scoreboard is not in favor of that argument. So
No, it certainly isn't.
But anyway, let's move on.
All right, our first 10 out of 10 match, at least for me, and I don't even know if I need your answer here. WWE Intercontinental Championship, Big E versus Apollo Crews in a Nigerian drum fight.
Well, I mean, I want to see what that means. It's probably just going to be no DQ or something.
So me and Andrew theorized that while Apollo Crews said it's a Nigerian drum fight because I'm going to beat you like a drum, we know in WWE speak that means that this ring will be surrounded with drums, right? There will be thousands of drums everywhere, and they're going to throw each other into a bunch of drums.
No, Apollo explained the match. Do you want me to tell you what he
did?
said?
Yes. Because we recorded that a few weeks before SmackDown, so go ahead.
He said it's a Nigerian drum match because you have to beat your opponent like a drum.
Okay.
So I don't think there's going to be drums.
You don't know this company, Joe.
I think it's just going to be like a no DQ match.
No, they're going to wheel out big giant drums. You're out of your mind if you don't think there's a big drum that's coming out here. There's a big,
all right,
and it's going to be like a very stereotypical, like, close your eyes and think of what Vince McMahon thinks a Nigerian drum looks like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the wicker, like the cloth over like a basket type thing. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Just absolutely like Saba Simba style, just like absolutely just abhorrently in bad taste. Just perfect. Just Bruce Pritchard
Nigerian
licking his
drum
chops right now to think about all these stupid ideas he can do. So,
I mean, we should ask Power Uti what a Nigerian drum match.
Well.
No, he's back, man.
Is he back? Did he murder his wife? Did we ever find that out?
Look, the odds are good that he murdered his wife,
Okay.
Let's be honest here. But he did pop back up for a couple months there, and now he's mysteriously disappeared again, so
okay.
who knows what's going on.
Well, one of these days we'll be swimming in that pool. We'll be swimming in that pool one day, so...
Yes, we were invited to swim in his pool and drive his sports cars.
Right.
We were invited to do those things.
Now we may be found face down in that pool, but...
Yeah, I'm a little skeptical.
I'm not going to the pool. I'm not going to the pool.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to go in this pool anymore, but hey, the invitation is there.
So,
and we almost got him booked on spring break.
We did. I remember. Yeah, we had old Double J and the real Double J in the DMs asking about Power Utis. Hey, do you guys have Power Utis contact info? No.
I mean, we tried to hook it up.
We did. We really did try. But yeah.
What happened was that was post murder, and I don't think he could get out of the country. Is what happened.
That usually does happen when you murder somebody.
Or alleged
murder. Yeah.
I don't want to get on his bad side. So alleged.
No. Yeah, alleged. Yeah, we should say that alleged. Yeah, that was.
And a woman did die. So
right. Yeah. But what was interesting about Power Uti is I was one day my friend who doesn't even watch wrestling but recently like read Mick Foley's book. Like, just text message out of nowhere and was like, have you ever heard of the great Power Uti? I'm like, what? I'm like, how does he know about this? I never knew that.
I'm close personal friends.
And I was like, how do you know about him? I'm like, yeah, like he like used to talk to us on Twitter all the time or whatever. I'm like, how the fuck do you know Power Uti? I'm thinking, oh man, did he like read like a news article about this, like this alleged murder or whatever? And he's like, no, he's in this book about Mankind's book or whatever. And I forgot that he was the guy in Mankind's book. That he rode with in Nigeria. So yeah.
Is that match he had with Luke Gallows still on YouTube?
It's so bad. It's so bad.
Worst thing you've ever seen.
I got it for the Secret Santa we do, Voice of Wrestling Secret Santa, like a year or two ago. It's so bad.
Yeah,
but he comes out, man. He's a star. I'll tell you that. He's a fucking star. So, all right. I hate this company so much. In a singles match, Joe, The Fiend versus Randy Orton. Top wrist locks, arm drags, rope breaks. It's a singles wrestling match between the Fiend.
You've gone delirious. Remember, the Fiend is the babyface. You're supposed to root for the
the pedophile murder clown is the babyface, and Randy Orton
pedophile dirty swamp wizard murder clown
because Randy Orton punted Stephanie McMahon 10 years ago. He is indeed the heel. So yeah, in this singles pro wrestling match, I hope so badly they just work a normal like Randy Orton just wears him down in the middle of the ring and hits the RKO out of nowhere, and it's just like,
They open with a test of strength.
Right, yes. A hammerlock, a good tight hammerlock, yeah.
Good tight hammerlock.
Right.
Orton throws him in, leapfrog.
The Fiend tries it when you're in the hammerlock, you try to grab the legs, to kind of sweep him underneath you. So the Fiend's like, reaching around to try to get to the legs, and Randy Orton's gotten in too tight, drops into the mat.
Leapfrog, drop down, shoulder block, take a powder, right? That's what you want to see.
Yeah, the Fiend grabs Alexa Bliss by the arms, they go to the back. They do the to the ring, We don't need this.
Fiend, because he's the babyface, he hits the shoulder block, and then Randy takes a powder, and the Fiend is standing there with his fist balled up, ready to go, like, get back in here, right? Like like Tommy Rich in 1983, like with the fist out.
He's got to play to the crowd too, you know what I mean? When Randy Orton goes out, he does kind of like the hands to the crowd, like, come on.
Yeah, he's got the fist, and then he goes, come on, and he throws his hands up, come on, right? Come on. He's got the fists. He's like, get in here, Randy, you coward. What are you, yella? He wants him to get in there. Like a southern babyface, right? Randy complaining to the ref that he's getting his hair pulled.
Oh, the hair pull, yeah.
Right? Dude, he makes balls the fist behind his head and then whips the head back to the referee. And then, but he has no hair, Rich.
It's the heat.
But he's claiming Yes. Explain that spot to you, because I'm not sure you understood the spot.
And then woman ref is going to say, no, what? You got no hair. Yeah, and it's going to be hilarious. Yeah.
Maybe Randy, since he's the heel, can put the Fiend in an abdominal stretch near the ropes, and when the ref isn't looking...
Oh, my, get leverage? Are you saying he's going to get leverage?
Yeah, and then when the ref looks, he can move his hand real fast, right? But then on, the third try,
Lady
the
ref's going to notice.
Catches him.
Yeah, Lady ref's going to
notice. And then he
kicks
the arm off. Right? Maybe they could do that, since this is going to be
And then Fiend does a hip toss from that,
Yeah, right. And then he hip tosses out.
Then he does the Marty Jannetty where he jumps around the ring and, grabs his hair and, gets excited type stuff. Yeah.
Yep. And, Randy's a master of the reverse chin lock, so I'm thinking he can put the Fiend in a reverse chin lock, and the crowd can slowly start to go. As the Fiend starts to power up.
As he's hitting the mat.
But then Randy, because he's a pro and he knows how to milk the crowd. So what he'll do is he'll be shaking his head. No. But then he'll grab the Fiend by the hair and pull him back down and put him back in the chin.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then they'll do it again. The crowd will
grab him by the melted face, the melted hair, and just drag him,
pull him back down into the chin. And then the crowd will go. And the Fiend will start to power out again, and then Randy will pull him down by the hair and put him back in the chin lock.
But eventually, though, when the Fiend does hit those things, when he elbows him in the gut 3 times, then bounces off the ropes and it's a big lariat, oh man.
The pop, you won't believe it.
The Raymond James will be up for grabs. The fucking pirate ship will be going off, so...
They will fire the cannons on the fucking pirate ship when he hits him with those 3 elbows to the gut and breaks that reverse chin lock. Yeah, it's gonna be something else. I'll tell you.
It's gonna be a happening, as the late great Gorilla Monsoon would say. It's gonna be a happening. Let me tell you something.
Yeah. If they really work the match like that, I'll give it 5 stars.
Absolutely, yes. Then the company will now be good in my mind. If the blow off to literal the amount of literal deaths we've had in this feud, the blow off is a good top wrist lock, a good hammer lock, and some big babyface pops by the Fiend would be incredible.
Randy has to win it with a schoolboy with a handful of tights, and right before the count of 3, he has to put his feet on the middle turnbuckle. But that's how he has to win it. And you get the big, and then Randy rolls out of there with a wry smile on his face.
It taps his head as I'm smarter than you. As Michael Cole goes, "Oh, Randy Orton, vintage Randy Orton outsmarts his opponent." Yeah.
As the Fiend grabs a handful of his pants and yanks it to show the referee.
His clown pants, yeah.
But he has his clown pants, his burnt clown pants. But the referee is just like doing that the shrug emoji. Like, I don't know. I didn't see it.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
I don't know. And Michael Cole can call it a miscarriage of justice, and Alexa Bliss can try to implore the referee that this did in fact occur, but it's to no avail. There's no replays in pro wrestling, Rich. So that's how I'd like to see that baby end.
Yeah, a nice old singles wrestling match to.
If they do that, my interest is a 10.
Yeah, absolutely. If it's
like
fucking sperm and fire and stuff, I don't know how they're going to do this match. I don't know what's going on, but the idea that we're still at a singles match with a few days to go is got me quite excited for how this is going to play out. So,
did you know that we lost 6 listeners while we were going through that match? And people were like, "I'm out."
I don't know what these guys are talking about, but I'm done.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm out of here. I can't listen to this. It's like the Scoop There It Is commercial when the daughter sees the father start to dance and she's like, I'm out of here. I want nothing to do with this.
The best part of that entire commercial is the dad initially he's just like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Then he quickly realizes, wait a minute, that's tag team and they have ice cream and my wife's loving it. And then he starts, it's incredible. That's. And
when he does that scoop, the daughter says, I want no part of this. I'm out of here.
That's what most of our listeners said. But we just described to you every great wrestling match for like 30 years right there. So,
yeah, I mean, that's what I'd like to see these men do. What's next?
Asuka versus our country woman here, Rhea Ripley, for the Raw Women's title.
Got to root for our country woman. So, I don't know. I have some interest in this. I'll go 6.
I'm about a 6 or 7. Yeah, I just really hope that they finally just do it with Rhea Ripley. I mean, don't fucking fuck around with this anymore. Just have her win the goddamn title. But I don't know. She's the heel, so I don't know.
We think she's the heel. I mean, they pipe the booze in.
All right.
So, listen, these cards really aren't that bad on paper.
They're not. But, yeah, I wish it wasn't a company devoid of any fucking logic or meaning or purpose, because I would really like a lot of these matches. But they somewhere along the line just completely lost the ability to combine a great roster and great matches with actual entertaining shows. So
yeah,
hopefully, and then our main event here: triple threat for the Universal Championship: Roman Reigns versus Edge versus Daniel Bryan.
6.5. I could go. I'll go 7. I'm curious in the finish.
I'm at a 7 too. I'm curious. I think the easy play here is just have Reigns beat. I don't think Edge is. I don't want to do the Edge thing. I don't think they want to do the Edge thing. I don't think you.
I think they want to do the Edge thing. I think they want heel Edge, and it's a good way to avoid beating Roman.
Oh, he pins Daniel Bryan. You think?
Yes. Ugh. Yes. It's got to be it.
So we turning Roman face, or what are we doing?
No, Roman's not involved, so he just keeps doing his thing. And Edge, you can get the title off Roman without beating him. And Edge beats Bryan. Bryan is there to eat a fucking pin.
He's eating the pin no matter what. Yeah, he's eating. He's either eating a Superman punch or a spear for sure.
He's there to sell tickets for their dead fucking main event that no one cared about, and to eat a pin. That's why he's there.
He's going to win
That's
now
WrestleMania.
for sure. He's definitely going to win now for sure.
It's WrestleMania. There you go.
There it is. Instant reactions, both night 1 and night 2. Subscribe, or we're never doing these ever again. So,
yes.
For WWE, I should know. We're always going to do instant reactions, no matter what. Because for other companies, they do well, and they make us money. For WWE, they're usually net negatives and we lose money. So that's it. I have to sit there for fucking 4 hours and watch this bullshit ass company sit down and record this for another hour, be tired my entire Monday, and then we lose people. We make no money doing it. I lose money doing it.
We're negative $15 at the end of it. It's like,
unbelievable.
Why did we do that?
Unbelievable. So.
Yeah.
Well, that's WrestleMania. Get into all of the weekend. We'll have coverage, of course, at voicesofwrestling.com throughout the weekend. Previews, reviews, columns. The whole schedule's up there as well. Details on how you can buy all the streaming packages to watch all those terrible shows is also available too. So anyway, that's it. For Joe Lanza, I'm Rich Craich. We'll talk to you next time. We'll see you this weekend, of course, for Instant Reaction Live. VoicesWrestling.com/Patreon. But that's it for us. Oh, yeah. Our sponsors. Shout out to ExpressVPN, VoicesWrestling.com/Express, MyBookie.ag, promo code VOICES, and then Manscaped. Use promo code FLAGSHIP at Manscaped.com for 20% off plus free shipping. Anyway, that's it. For Joe, I'm Rich. We'll talk to you next time. Take care. Bye.
Epicor is the essential partner to the world's most essential businesses.
offering ERP solutions built for growth and operational success. Explore the industry productivity solutions we curate for the automotive, building supply, distribution, manufacturing, and retail industries by visiting epicor.com/essential. That's EPICOR.com/essential.